If you've ever been excited to be back at work after a holiday because your job involves the market and you're addicted, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Market Edge Live, where we get you prepared for the trading day, and in the case of Monday, get you prepared for the trading week as well. I hope that you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We're back. We've got some stuff to break down. We're starting off the week a little bit slow here, but we expect things to pick up. Let's get to it. Hello and welcome, everybody, and good morning and happy Monday. Welcome back. Dazzy, looks like you are the early bird here today. Good morning. Hope that you had a great, long, extended weekend. Hopefully everyone out there had a great Thanksgiving. My favorite holiday, did not disappoint. Again, hustle and bustle. Good morning, Fairchild. Good morning. Great to see a whole bunch of people. Good morning, Crimp Biscuit. Great to have you back here. White chocolate mocha, starting our day off correctly. So hopefully you all had a great holiday. We do have some more stuff to break down here. Looking across the markets, everything's just about flat here. S&P 500 down, barely down, 0.05%. Dow down 0.08%, and the NASDAQ up 0.03%. So pretty much flat across the board. Crude here up 1.25% here this morning. We'll see if those gains hold. But that's what's going on. ONDS trading up, some more action here today. And then KULR. I know, Bernard, I can't wait to talk to 13 about this, because he said on Friday he certainly did not expect the KULR move that we got. And sure enough, we're getting more movement here this morning. Good morning, Bernard, Replay Game Lab, and Jane. Welcome back. Hope that your holiday was excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and load up a chart here. First piece of news that I want to talk to you folks about: Jeep maker Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares resigns amid falling U.S. sales and trade pressure. Board cites, quote, different views, end quote. So, okay, Stellantis getting a new CEO here. I'm not necessarily sure what this is going to mean for the stock. Probably a pretty good thing if sales are falling. Maybe they'll do something to kind of re-kick that up here. The interesting part about this, though, looking at Stellantis, we're actually kind of at a support level. So if we take a look inside here real quick, you can see Stellantis is falling, holding on to $12 here. So that $12 test has already happened here this pre-market. So far, we've held it. We'll see if we continue to hold it here today. We do have that support. I would definitely call that 12. This I know that there was some previous resistance back here in 2017. We actually used this as support in 2019. We broke through these two levels, and then we retested this again in 2022. Now, it's worth noting that we did trade lower. So 1150 might be a possible spot here, but I wonder how much more downside is still left. Ticker STLA. So again, news here is that CEO Carlos Tavares is resigning for a potential trade here. I would imagine that if this does a decent job holding 12, I would probably put my stop right beneath this 1150 area, and then maybe try and trade this for the long side on the way back up. It depends, I suppose, a lot if you think car makers are a good trade right now. Not my favorite, but just kind of looking at the piece of news here. So actually it is at a kind of intriguing level. Next here was going to be Adobe, right? Ticker ADBE, excuse me. Let's go ahead and pull that up here real quick. Adobe CRM AI revolutionizes Black Friday shopping as online sales reach new heights. So Adobe getting credited for that a little bit here. It's up fractionally in the pre-market here. Just kind of looking at Adobe, one of the things we really want to see is this consolidation area that we've been in. Gosh, I know we dropped out of this here. This was back in March. We reclaimed it here back in June. So we spent most of the spring a little bit lower. We really kind of want to make a move away from this area. Stock's trying to do that. Tried to go back to the all-time highs. It tried to break down. It couldn't do either one of those things. So next here, we got to try to clear out this area here. We'll see what that if that happens here on Adobe. Now, the interesting part of this news story here is that they're mentioning here that Black Friday shopping online sales reach new heights. So first of all, it did seem that the consumer was willing to spend if there were decent deals. I know in my own situation, if I found a good deal, I was okay spending some money on that. And the data seems to suggest the exact same thing. I was actually watching CNBC here this morning, and they had some talk about Black Friday sales and all of that. And it does seem like the consumer is willing to spend. So I'm not sure how necessarily hurt they are. The other interesting part about this is talking about how online sales reach new heights. Now, that's no surprise to me. I do most of my shopping online to try and avoid crowds. But seems like more shoppers are going that way. And what's interesting about that is that today is actually Cyber Monday. So traditionally, the days with the best online deals is going to be today, maybe a little bleed into tomorrow. It has a lot of your electronic deals on that as well. And we're actually already seeing some good online numbers. So I'd be curious to know if we see even better Cyber Monday sales numbers. We'll have to keep an eye on the headlines for that. Obviously, that will affect some of the different retailers. One of the retailers that we talked a lot about last week here was Amazon. And Amazon here sure looks like this is trading back up towards those new all-time highs after pulling off of that. We'll see if we end up getting that here in the pre-market. Amazon strong, not a whole lot of volume, but indeed Amazon here is ripping. So 210 here in the pre-market. I'd be curious to know if this pops even higher here. And then the other thing to watch is if we get more headlines coming out about Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, and all of that stuff. Should be pretty good for Amazon. I definitely did some ordering on Amazon of my own for Black Friday and also for Christmas, but it was not exclusively Amazon. I actually found some really good deals at the manufacturer's website themselves. So we'll see. We'll see how the sales are for Amazon. I will say this morning here, pretty good. And actually, with this pre-market move here, we've almost closed the gap. We got, let's see, I've got the gap here, close that candle. 210.88. All right, 210.88 is going to be the gap fill here if we keep getting that. Be curious to see if this holds through the open. If it does, I think we actually might have a day trade set up here for Amazon to the long side. So we'll go ahead and check that out as well. Moving along with some of the other top stories here, we're going to talk about XPEV. This is going to be one of those Chinese EV makers. There's several of these: XPEV, NIO, Li, BYD. Chinese automakers BYD, Leapmotor, and Xiaomi smash annual sales targets ahead of schedule. Smash. Okay, so it looks like some of the Chinese EV retailers here are doing pretty well in terms of deliveries. Sounds good. Here we go. We've got XPEV. This is actually trading up by about 50 cents here in the pre-market. And if we take a look at some of the other stocks in here, let's take a look at some of the other Chinese EV makers. Here we go. NIO up fractionally, XPEV doing a little bit better. Li Auto was also mentioned in there. So I know that these are actually pretty active, especially for our group. Li Auto actually a little bit lower here in the pre-market. So it looks like had a big pop there on Friday. Looks like this had a looks like this one's a little bit lower here. So we'll see where all these goes. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Let me ban this guy. Don't spam, dude. See you later. Find some other YouTube channel to clog up, my man. All right. So that takes care of this for the Chinese automakers. These I generally view as shorter term day trades. So we'll see if that kind of kicks up here today. We'll watch all three of these names, or actually all four of these names: XPEV, NIO, Li, and BYD. Are going to be those tickers. Okay, let's also talk about Coin. Got a new piece of news there as well. Coinbase policy chief expects speedy approval of crypto laws following Trump's victory. That should confirm what we've already seen here. Crypto market definitely seems to be popping since the election. Tom Lee was actually on CNBC this morning saying it's only a matter of time before Bitcoin crosses the 100K. He's actually looking to do that between year end. Looking over at the futures chart here, Bitcoin futures 96,290 on /BTC. So, all right. pulled back a little bit off that 100K. We'll see if we go back and test that here. If I was a betting man, I mean, I do hold this. I'm a long-term holder of this, so that's great. But if I was a betting man, I would agree with Tom Lee. I think that we probably do see that 100K prior to the turn of the year here. So that's what I'd be looking for here. Coinbase just shy of 300. This has actually been a great trade recently, and this is making a pretty awesome formation here on the daily chart. So you can see we really popped out of this consolidation area. This is what I was just talking about on Adobe that we really wanted to clear out here. And now we're actually bull flagging up here. So pretty awesome. We did kind of break through the bottom of the island. We actually tested that gap. We came right back in. Watch for Coinbase to turn around right here. We really want this to hold on to 300-ish, that 300-ish area. I think if we hold that here today and Bitcoin participates, I actually think you might have a long trade here on Coinbase. I've been looking at like 300, maybe a stop at 290, and I'd be looking to try and test some of the high end of this range here, maybe 335, 340, if we can get up there. So we'll see here on Coinbase. This will also spark some of the other Bitcoin plays. I'm sure we'll take a look at MicroStrategy as well, and pretty much any of the Bitcoin plays that like to move. But, while we're on the subject here, I guess we should take a look at those real quick before we move on to AMC here. So here is MicroStrategy. Again, maybe that 380, 340 level seem to be an area of support. Again, we're still in there. MicroStrategy figuring out if it wants to take off from this area or break down from this area. I sure hope we pop and move higher here on MicroStrategy. No position for me on this, but again, I am definitely trying to figure out what types of support I can trust, and then maybe try and swing this a few times. So I'll update you when I feel a little bit better on that. MicroStrategy here, at least so far this morning, this actually looks pretty good. Let's take a look at Mara as well. I know a lot of you folks actually trade Mara. Mara's been pretty good. That looks like it's down here in the pre-market a little bit. After a wild day there, this was Friday, right? Yeah, wild day there on Friday. So it looks like we're down here in the pre-market. Again, though, the level to watch here is $30. Can we break through that $30, especially to the upside? If so, we should be in pretty good shape. It's one of the things that we're waiting for here. Okay. Let's take a look here. Next is going to be AMC. Take a look at AMC here. What's going on with this? Boy, I tell you what, this AMC daily chart always looks a little bit rough here. Here we go. AMC up 5 cents in the pre-market. Get ready for that, huh? Moana 2 snares $221 million in its 5-day domestic opening, fueling the biggest Thanksgiving box office of all time. So we actually talked about Moana 2 a little bit last week here with the group. I think when we were discussing Thanksgiving plans here, several of you, maybe it was 13 or Amanda, several people were thinking that they were going to go see this. Looks like Moana 2 blew everything else out of the water. That includes Wicked and Gladiator. So pretty good move here. That should be pretty good for Disney, right? Isn't that a Disney movie here? This actually trading up. Disney sure looks like this is going to try and break out here and maybe test this 120, 123 area. Get asked about Disney a lot. This might be one to watch here today. Let's see if 123, 124 becomes an area that we can take out here on the back of that. So Moana 2 snaring $221 million. Good morning, Lion. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Chuck, Hugh, thinking about it. Boy, we got the whole crew here. Andrew, let's go. Great to see you folks. Hopefully you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Let's also take a look ahead here. We are going to be interviewing Ina Braverman, CEO of Wave Power here, ticker WAVE. So it's stock that trades here on NASDAQ. Pretty intriguing daily chart here. We're going to be interviewing her in just about 15 minutes here. And then also kind of looking ahead here, we do have quite a bit of economic events this week. A lot of Fed speakers, to be honest. So Monday here, 9:15, we're going to have Fed Waller. 10 a.m., we're going to get the ISM manufacturing PMI. I'm not sure that's going to move the market at all, but we are going to be getting that data point here today. 3-month and 6-month bill auctions going to be at 11:30, and then in the afternoon we have Waller and Williams speaking. So today we do have some speakers here. Mo, yes, team is working on it. You should be resolved here shortly. That's why we're going with Trading View here. It's not just you. Don't worry. I can actually update the group. when I get something here. So we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, so economic events, there are going to be some Fed speakers. We'll see if that moves the market. We'll keep on top of that, make sure that we stay abreast of the situation here. Okay, before we get to Ina here, let's see if there's any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at. Again, not a whole lot of earnings going on since we're just getting back from the holiday. But that is going to change later this week. So let's see. You folks wanted to take a look at any idea on what Riot might do. Let's take a look. Let's see if that's going to be another one of those Bitcoin stocks. So this is obviously going to be tied to Bitcoin. I'll tell you what, Riot hasn't been as good of a performer as Mara. It's really seems to underperform here. This is actually down a little bit in the pre-market. Looking at the daily chart here, we're still at an area we really need to take out. This 13 level, I have this marked right now at 13.16, but in reality, it's this 13 level. You can see that there are a number of wicks that we've actually tested this level, pretty much going all the way back to the beginning of this year. So we'll really need to actually have that get taken out here. It's done a good job not breaking down, and and actually Bitcoin here in the pre-market is actually starting to come off the 96,000 base that it's putting in, at least on the futures chart. So Bitcoin looks to be a little bit firm here. If that turns around here today, should bode well for all of these Bitcoin stocks. Riot here, I'll be honest, I prefer some of the other names. Well, like I said, Riot really hasn't been performing as well. I have better luck with Mara to begin with. And frankly, MicroStrategy is going to be my main target. MicroStrategy and Coinbase are going to be my two main targets here. So I'd like to know if you guys trade Riot at all, if you guys have a trading plan on this, if there's anything that you're taking a look at, would love to know about that. Okay. Let's keep moving here. What else did you folks want to take a look at? Looks like RCAT. Oh, nobody is surprised to take a look at RCAT here. Let's do that real fast. First of all, this daily chart, if this daily chart has you nervous, I totally get it. This thing is just absolutely vertical here. So for all of us that have been trading this already and have been holding this for a while, this is obviously pretty awesome. But man, oh man, for those of us that don't have it and would really like to play this drone angle, we gotta wait. Gotta be a little bit more patient here and wait for some pullbacks. This daily chart here, absolutely vertical. If we take a look at the weekly and the monthly, they're going to look the exact same. Even though everything is going well here, I do think this is too much too fast. And I think at some point the stock is going to pull back. When that happens, we can take a look at some levels and see if that's possible to really kind of load up for a swing here. But RCAT really just knocking the socks off here. This really, the move here from 4 to 11 or to 12 has really been phenomenal. And guess what? Today here actually looks like we're going to go even higher. So taking a look at some of the near-term levels today, let's just get those figured out. 13 definitely going to be one of those. The pre-market high that I have in here, I think is 13.22. That was from this candle. Let me make sure I get that correctly here. Yeah, 13.22. So 13 to 13.22, definitely going to be your upside resistance area here today. And then it looks like 12 on the downside. We've actually tested this level twice in the pre-market, held it both times. Even the time we dipped beneath it, we reclaimed it in very, very short order. So it sure seems like, at least in the pre-market here, the buyers are around. I would definitely put that as a downside level. And then the other level that I would look at if we really start to pull, maybe this 11.30, right? 11 and a quarter, if you want to call it that. If we overshoot that 12 level, let's see if we can actually hold the consolidation area from Friday. That would be pretty good. Otherwise, we just kind of trade this with momentum. This is not this definitely has momentum to the upside, not a stock that I would want to jump on short, especially being low price and part of a really awesome theme that we've seen move some of these other stocks. Speaking of drone stocks that are moving here, we actually had news last week on ONDS, some pretty good news, frankly, on ONDS. And we're getting some more movement here today. So I didn't see any news on this here today. It just seems to be moving again, and that is great. See if we get some more on that. Remember, this is a long-term hold for me. I'm underwater on this, so just letting you know, I think there were several people buying this on Friday. See if we get a trade here. ONDS levels that I'm taking a look at, 130 for sure. Really, the big level to the downside that I'm looking at every day is going to be that $1 level. Really, really want this to hold above $1. Remember, some of the news recently was this regaining compliance so that it could stay on NASDAQ by getting its price above $1. Really want to see that hold here. Last ad that I was making here in ONDS was in a 60-cent handle. So doing pretty well. Really want to see this take off. We'll see if we end up getting that. What was the other stock that you folks were mentioning? OPTT, up big with earnings reports to come today. Okay. Really awesome. Let's take a look at that here. Let me actually see if, there we go. So here we go. Let's see. Okay, so I'm logged in. I don't have the news yet for OPTT, so let's just take a look at the chart. We'll get to the news here in a sec. OPTT, this is a penny stock. You know me, folks. Same deal. I'm gonna stay away from this here today. We are seeing some nice movement. We are actually starting to see the start of the expanding volume, which is pretty awesome as well. So we want that to continue. We'd really like that to continue into the open here. And I'm actually not upset about this pulling back from the highs there. So let's go ahead and add VWAP on here. There we go. All right. So not opposed to having this pull back towards the VWAP here. I've got that VWAP at 69.20. See if we can do that. Pull back on OPTT. You guys had mentioned that it was the news that was going on here. I don't see any fresh news for this. But you guys were mentioning that it was earnings. So, okay. We shall see if we get rolling here. Looks like I am good to go on Pro, I think. Who was asking about that earlier? Who was that? Whoever was asking about Pro earlier, looks like you can log in now. Looks like those services are being restored. So, okay, we're going to keep flipping around, at least in the meantime. We'll come back to that, and we'll see what other stocks you folks want to take a look at. Okay, RCAT, you guys are totally discussing RCAT. Any feedback on Ripple? You know what? No. I did notice that Ripple XRP, do I get that here in the general trading view? XRP? This is market cap. I don't think that's what we want. No. XRP USD. So there was a talk over the weekend about Ripple really breaking down. This is not a crypto that I follow. I'd love to learn a little bit more about this. Let me know what it is that you like about this, why this is one of the popular trades. I think would say it's this and Solana. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like XRP and Solana are the two altcoins that are mentioned the most. But I don't have any line on that. So we'll have to look and see. I'd like to hear from you folks what you think about that, though. KULR, yes. You know what? We will take a look at KULR. Maverick. Excuse me. Bonjour, Ryan. Hope you enjoyed the game of the Bills. Winter is here and it's beautiful. What about IONQ? We will take a look at IONQ here. I like how you threw that in there at the end. Let me tell you something, though. The first part of your comment there. I was blown away yesterday. I love NFL snow games, and seeing that, hearing from the moment I woke up, the Bills area got 24 inches of snow or something like that. I was super excited. Being able to finish the weekend with that snow game was super fun. So really, really enjoyed that. Okay, we'll take a look at IONQ here. Actually, I'm going to do that first. And we'll go to KULR here, but I suspect that we're going to be talking about KULR quite a bit here today. I know that 13's been watching that for a long time, getting a big pop here on that today. So I'm sure that will be on deck here. Now, IONQ, this is also part of the quantum computing basket. So this is what I really want you to keep in mind when it comes to IONQ. First of all, we are clearly in a momentum move, right? Just absolutely no doubt about it. clear momentum move here. Same deal. I'd really like for this to pull back, especially for a new trade here. If you guys are in this or if you guys are trading this, just make sure you're paying yourself on the way up. The last time that we really kind of spiked here back in 21, looks like this was November of 2021. Look what happened shortly after, right? We had this big momentum move back. We retraced the entire move. The entire move came all the way back in to where it broke out from, bounced again, and then went lower. Now, I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen here again in IONQ, but that absolutely could. I am expecting this to pull back at least some point, or to at least some degree. Maybe it doesn't pull all the way back to the breakout spot and then go lower like it did the last time, but I am expecting a pullback here. Would love to see this pullback to at least 20 for starters here. That's 16 points off where we're at right now. But otherwise, if you're in this, the momentum is strong with you. It's on your side. Just make sure whatever your risk plan is for this, that you're paying yourself on the way up. Even if you have a long-term view on this, I really think that it's pretty prudent to pay yourself when you have these kind of moves in between. There's nothing stopping you from being able to rebuy the stock if it comes back in. And if you're paying yourself on the way up on some of these tranches, then you're really going to be able to increase or better your average price, and then B, make sure you get like a cushion built up there. If we do have a big correction in the market, you're going to be glad you've raised some cash by selling some of this. So I'd like for you guys, to just mind your risk parameters. Actively take profit when you can here, IONQ. This is a potential spot, though. I mean, you can see we've actually already taken out this high here. We did have that high at 35. We're at 36 and change here in the pre-market, so giddy up. We'll see if this ends up trading up here today or if this really kind of comes back in a little bit here today. Again, longer term move, would really like to see this come back in. Okay. Let me check here what else I got going on. Okay, so let's see. So you guys are saying, let's check here real quick. You guys are saying Pro is having some issues. Let's check it out here. So we'll switch from TradingView to Pro. So it looks like I was able to log in. So Gary and Anas, I'm not sure where you are at in the login. I'm getting news here, so the feed is up. Looks like maybe we're still having an issue with chart. But yes, Austin, there were some issues earlier. I'm in now. So I would say definitely try and log in now. And like I said, newsfeed seems to be loading here. Okay. And Gary, you just got in. Okay, sweet. So it looks like that is behind us, at least for right now. And I'm actually getting charting as well. So we seem to be across the board here. Richard, keep trying. You should be okay. You should be okay. Working for you now. Keep smiling. Okay, awesome. Sorry about the little hiccup there, but we look to be good to go here. Let me flip back over. Let me make sure I didn't lose any of my stuff here. Yeah, this is EWZ. We've got all of our studies on here. We good to go. Okay, let's take a look here at KULR real quick. We're going to start here with the daily chart, and then we'll kind of dive into this. And actually, you know what? Let me shoot off another email here. Again, sorry, folks, with some of the outages here this morning. I was not totally ready. Let me go ahead and make sure we get sent over here. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. We should be all right now. Okay. Let me again, sorry about that. Let me go ahead and focus up here. Okay, so we will take a look at KULR here. I really want to get 13's opinion on this. This is one that he's been around for a long time. But before we do that, we are actually going to bring on our special guest here. Can I get a thumbs up in the background to let me know that you're ready to go? Thumbs up in the background, I'm assuming. Okay, we are ready to go. So, folks, we are going to be doing a real quick interview here with Ina Braverman, CEO of Wave Power. Let's have a warm welcome for Ina. Ina, hello. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for joining us here today. Really, really appreciate it. So we're talking today here about EcoWave Power. Can you tell the group a little bit about what you do before we dive in here?
Of course. So our company developed a unique innovative technology for generation of clean electricity from ocean and sea waves. So basically we take floaters and we connect them to existing man-made structures such as piers, breakwaters, jetties, and other types of marine structures. And these floaters, they convert the movement of the water into clean electricity.
Okay, that's awesome. I know renewable energy is a huge topic in a variety of different forms. This seems amazing. You're literally taking the natural movement of the ocean and then converting that into electricity. Really, really awesome. Let's start with your recent financial performance. The quarterly results that you released recently, and your most recent quarter, there was strong growth in certain areas of the business. What do you attribute the success to here, and how do you plan to maintain that momentum going forward?
So I think that really what kind of created the most interest was our newest partnerships. So all our power stations that we're building right now are being done in collaboration with large scale entities. So on December 5th, in 3 days actually, we're opening the first grid connected power station in the history of Israel here in Jaffa port. Then right after that, in Q1 of 2025, we are planning to open our first US-based power station in collaboration with Shell. Shell is investing 50% of the cost of the project, to be followed by a power station in Taiwan with Liantat, our partners there, and then the first commercial power station for EcoWave Power and for the world in the city of Porto in Portugal. So I think really we're having a very, very good momentum, and I really attribute kind of the success to the fact that EcoWave Power is actually executing wave energy projects. Until now, all wave energy companies that have been out there in the market were stuck for a really long time in kind of R&D and computerized simulation and weren't really executing any projects. And EcoWave Power is taking a completely different approach, and we're all into execution.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So speaking of execution, then, I mean, I know that the global energy transition is happening at a rapid pace, or at least trying to happen at a rapid pace. And I would imagine that you're going to be on top of that as well. How do you balance the need for scaling up while maintaining cost efficiency in your operation?
So I think actually that's something that EcoWave Power performs really well, because if you're seeing the difference between Q2 and Q3 report, in Q3 we were actually able to minimize our cost by 10%, really minimization kind of costs while achieving so much progress is available due to our strategic partnerships. Most of our assets, which of course is the most expensive thing in our business, is the asset, is the construction cost of the power stations. They're not being funded from EcoWave Power balance sheet. They're being funded either in partnership, like I said, with EDF, with Shell, or we started kind of a new way of collaboration where we actually started selling first power stations to third parties. So the deal that we announced just in October with Taiwan, we're actually making it as turnkey. So they're buying the solution for us, and EcoWave Power is profiting on supplying the solution. And I really believe that in the short term, that's a great revenue stream for EcoWave Power. It enables us to be financially independent and not having to go to the market and raise additional funds. And it enables us to also get multiple projects out there faster, because the buyers of this technology are usually large-scale, connected, either energy firms, engineering firms, or otherwise. And that really enables us to get the licensing fast, the grid connection approval fast, the feed-in tariff for the energy fast. So then we're basically getting our presence out there in different locations around the world.
Okay, that's awesome. And you actually hit on something that I was going to ask you about raising cash. So really great to see that you don't really need to do that. You talked a lot about some of these partnerships that you have already. Could you share more about any of the partnerships or the collaborations that have been particularly good for you or particularly impactful to your financial performance or your technological developments?
Of course. So first of all, I will address your first part of the sentence. So EcoWave Power actually went public in July 2021. And it's important for me to say that since July 2021 and until now, which is December 2024, the company never went back to raise funds from the market. So we never diluted our shareholders. I think this is a big advantage in EcoWave Power because we could really focus on what's important, which is the operational projects, the strategic partnerships, and so on, and not really like, market-related items. Regarding the partnerships that kind of create the biggest influence, I would definitely say our partnership with EDF Renewables. The reason for it having such a big influence is the fact that EDF, which is Électricité de France, the French national electrical company, they are the largest renewable energy producer in Europe. So for us, once we're finishing here the demonstration and the testing in Israel, we can also use their contacts and their kind of financial stability and so on in order to penetrate the European market. Another market that we're very interested in is the United States. In the United States, we have an agreement signed with Altaci in the Port of Los Angeles for our first project there. And just 2 weeks ago, we announced that we received the last federal license that we needed from the Corps of Engineers in order to actually go ahead and construct the project. So Shell is our partner. They're funding 50% of the project. Same like with EDF, Shell is a huge company with large impact. So of course, we can also use the project in the Port of LA to leverage and achieve additional projects. Then in the same time, we're building the first project in Asia, which will be in Taiwan with Lian Tat, which is a large marine engineering company. And our first project in Portugal is actually the project that we're right now leading independently, because EcoWave Power really wants to own and operate the first grid-connected commercial wave energy power station in the world. And we believe this project will really be a significant breakthrough to the whole industry, because in the project so far, we showed that wave energy doesn't have to be expensive, that it's reliable, that it's easily connected to the grid. But when you're building a commercial scale project, we can also show profitability. And I think this is key for the breakthrough wave power to be part of the world's renewable energy mix.
Okay. Awesome stuff there. And I'll tell you, you're talking right now to a group of active market participants. So to hear that you're not diluting the investors, that is definitely a plus. Got a really good question here from one of the viewers here, if you wouldn't mind. Is there any plans for units in the open sea, or are you pretty much just focusing on shoreline locations?
So we're not exactly on shoreline. Of course, we don't take any prime real estate. We don't take beachfront properties and so on. We connect to existing structure, which is sometimes called onshore, sometimes it's called near shore. So it's breakwaters, piers, and jetties. As to offshore, we did a feasibility study for Chevron, and we did a feasibility study for Shell for connecting to offshore oil and gas drilling platforms. So that's definitely a niche market that we can pursue, because there's a high need of energy on these platforms. And right now it's usually produced by diesel, which is both polluting and very, very expensive. I do believe that learning from wind industry, which is a renewable energy that became very, very successful over time, the beginning has to be easy, simple, and cost efficient. And with the wind industry, from the moment that the first onshore windmill was built, it took 100 years for the wind industry to start building in the offshore, like in the middle of the ocean. Because offshore, it's more expensive, it's more complicated. Wave energy kind of took the wrong, I would say, had the wrong beginning in the world, because wave energy, for some reason, decided to start where it's complicated and expensive, which is in the middle of the ocean. So I'm kind of more a believer of pursuing what wind did successfully, starting on the onshore where it's simple and easy, and then when we're strong financially, we're strong in terms of supply chain and technologically, then we will go into the offshore as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that would make a lot of sense as a stockholder as well. So, okay, really good stuff there. Another question here from one of our viewers. Are you worried about Chinese-Taiwan tensions regarding any part of your infrastructure at all? And I would actually expand on that. This viewer is mentioning China-Taiwan, but are you worried about any type of global or macro environment really kind of disrupting what you're doing?
Listen, to be honest, I would say that I believe that technology has no borders, and in the end of the day, it doesn't matter of the conflicts. Everybody wants to have renewable energy in place.
Absolutely.
So Taiwan right now is in a dire need for renewable energy, or for any energy for that part, because they're doing the semiconductors industries, which is critical for the AI business. So definitely Taiwan is a big market for us. But even with the tension in China, it's important for me to say, while we work with Taiwan, we also have a subsidiary that is located in China, which received funding from the government of China. So there is interest for good technology everywhere.
Okay, awesome. And then one more thing here. I know that this is on the top of the top of minds a lot about anything in the energy business. Excuse me. Renewable energy sector is often subject to policy shifts and regulatory changes. How does Wave navigate these uncertainties, and how does that affect your financial projections and your growth strategy?
So really, policies and regulation are critical for commercialization, especially of innovative technologies. We're not at the point that wind and solar and other kind of, I would say, older and more traditional renewable energy technologies are, where kind of, the price of their system started decreasing significantly. So the government started changing, like removing their supportive policies and removing supportive tariffs and so on. Right now, EcoWave Power is kind of where solar and wind was 20 and 30 years ago in terms of the policies and the prices. Like most governments, they understand that they cannot supply 100% clean electricity to their citizens solely with wind and solar. So they want wave energy to commercialize. So they're actually giving very supportive legislation and policies. For example, just recently, Governor Newsom in California signed law that's called Senate Bill 605 for support of wave energy. And Congresswoman Nanette Barragán wants to appropriate $1 billion in funding to wave energy as a federal legislation. So basically, right now we're seeing very, very positive shift in legislation and a very positive kind of recognition for wave energy on a global scale. And we hope it continues. But with that said, for me, it's also very important to say that we never built our technology to be dependent on subsidies. So even right now, at the current prices that are for solar and for wind in any of the locations that we work, we would still be cost efficient and profitable.
Okay, that's really tremendous as well. Okay, and then last year, I want to say, as you expand into new key markets, what are the key considerations that you take into account when selecting a new region for development? What challenges are you facing when you're trying to expand?
So when selecting new regions of development, we're looking at first of all, for us, the most relevant is the wave energy potential and the structures that are suitable in that location. Other than that, of course, we're looking at the supportive policies and what is the legislation, what is the regulation, how long will it take us to get from, an initial agreement to an actual power station up and running. That's kind of what we look at. Right now, our core focus is really on European market, because in Europe, you have already a lot of grants and subsidies and support for wave energy specifically. They kind of started developing it early on. We're definitely very much focused in the US market. We're even opening offices now in Florida, in Miami. We're having the new power station coming in the port of Los Angeles, and we are in discussions with additional locations in the United States, because we see that the momentum in the US is very, very strong, and we really believe that what happens big in the United States will be big everywhere, because all the eyes are towards the success stories in the United States. And right now we also started penetrating the Asian market with our Taiwanese project.
Okay, that is absolutely tremendous. Ina Braverman, CEO of Wave Power, that's ticker WAVE on the NASDAQ. Ina, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
No problem. Take care. Thank you, folks. Awesome stuff there. Again, that is Eco Wave Power Global. The ticker is Wave, WAVE. Easy for me to say. Love all of the renewable energy things that are coming. This one sounds awesome. And I love that they've really kind of taken a view of not wanting to dilute shareholders and really kind of thinking about expansion plans and all of that. So really, really good stuff. Shout out to the group here for coming up with some questions here. Really exciting stuff. Okay. Awesome. I did see that we had some news go off while we were in that interview. So let's go ahead and take a look at that here real quick. Appreciate all the feedback, by the way. One of the things that we're trying to do here, we want to bring you some of the stuff maybe that's not quite uncovered yet by the masses. Maybe we can find a new sector or a new theme a little bit early here and raise the tide for everyone. So appreciate you all with that. I actually think this company sounds really, really awesome. So good stuff there. Now, some news while we were talking. Intel CEO is out. Okay, so again, Intel shares trading higher after the company announced the retirement of CEO Pat Gelsinger here. Names David Zisner and Michelle Johnston Holthos. Boy, I hope I pronounced that correctly, as interim co-CEOs. Frank Yeary named interim executive chair. So really good stuff here with Intel. Now, here's the most interesting part about this. First of all, if we take a look at the daily chart here, we're kind of coiled here a little bit on Intel. We're actually sitting right above the 20-day, right above the 50-day, and we have some gap area here to the 200-day. There's also a gap fill in there up to 29 if we do end up going that way. Let's take a look here in the pre-market. How is the stock responding to this? Positively. So this is okay. So this retirement is effective December 1st. So effective as of yesterday, it would appear. Market really kind of rewarding this. One of the things that we had talked about, Happy Hour has been talking about Intel for what feels like multiple years at this point. Intel, well-known business, been around for a long time and really struggled as of late. One of the things that our group has really been talking about is, hey, you know, the CEO or executive change at Intel might be one of those things that you're waiting for to take a new view on this stock. Now, here we are. We're getting that this morning. So I have no position in this. I definitely want to see how this trades today. One of the other things that I'm going to be watching is some unusual option activity around this name. What is the option market telling us about this? And does the market continue to reward the executive switch up here? Really, really exciting. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. And I got good news for you. The fryer, it didn't get our main man 13. Let's bring him on. 13, how you doing? First of all, I know we've got some news to cover here. We've got some movers to cover. And oh my God, KULR is going crazy. But I got to know, how was the rest of your holiday weekend?
Oh, it was fun. Spent most of it with my family. After the show, we went to Top Golf and did some other stuff. But then after that, we just kind of mostly lounged around on Sunday watching football. Enjoyed that.
That sounds perfect. And to have the football weekend capped off by a snow game, oh man,
that was a great game last night.
I was super excited.
Watching Allen just absolutely go crazy with the laterals and the you remember that play?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look, that team is ready. That team is ready. And shout out to all the Bills fans out there who they pay to shovel the stadium so that they can actually play the game there. You folks are the real MVPs. So shout out there.
They didn't clear up the seats though.
No, you're gonna have fun. You got to have snow for. You know, they like to celebrate by throwing snow in the air when Buffalo scores. There, you can't get rid of all that. You got to leave some of that around for the game. Okay. 13. Good to hear that the rest of your weekend was awesome. We just had a great interview with Ina Braverman, CEO of Wave, which is like a wave power technology company. Definitely one to keep on your watch list there. We have the Intel news. What do you want to start with here? Where do you want to go? What do you want to start breaking down here today?
Well, I did see that there are some movers getting set up. I do like that Intel news. I actually own Intel, so this is very welcome news for me. We've been talking, like you just said, about how we needed to see the CEO be ousted or removed or retire or something. Just get him out of there. He's not good for the company. So this is great.
Okay, awesome. Pretty simple there on Intel. Like I said, I want to see how this trades here today. Unlike 13, I have no position in this, but I am not opposed to this. One of the other things that we had talked about on Intel is that, you know, this stock is likely to be higher with some real good news. The last time we traded this around this level, we were buying at 25. This thing went to 50 in fairly short order. So was right down in here, actually, where we did that. So we'll see if we get that move again. Really good stuff here with Intel. I'm sure we're going to be checking in on this later today. Do you want to talk about KULR?
We can. That thing's been on a tear lately.
I mean, and it also moved here today. Now, I actually did not have access this morning. So was there some fresh news that was going on here today? I don't see anything here. Looks like maybe this is just some continued relative volume from last week. What say you?
Possibly. See, the thing that was interesting to me on Friday was how it was really starting to move into the close. And I thought we were going to get some news after the market had closed for the day. Didn't really see anything, though, but a lot of options activity. I still feel like there might be some more news coming. It's in a pretty clear uptrend right now, and it hasn't broken that quite yet. Seems to me like, let me just draw a trend line here, and I'll give you a better idea of when. Seems like we need to break beneath, we'll call it 135, 140. that would be a bit of a break trend there. So until that happens, this may continue to move up. Now, I noticed that in the pre-market, we did find some resistance up around 195. I see that we made two tops there, 196 and 194. Yeah. So we'll just go with the average there of 195. That's going to be the breakout spot if we do get a bounce off of some support, maybe the 65 EMA or even that 135, 140 level that I just mentioned from the trend line. So if that happens, then we could consider the upside target there of a break over 195. The thing about this is that I'm not in this anymore. I sold all my shares.
Okay, so that's I was going to follow up and ask. Yeah. Thanks for going there.
But and one of the reasons is because the float is just so heavy that it makes me cautious about these kinds of runs. This is definitely something I'd be selling into the strength too. Now, if it continues to go, it'll be just a day trade for me at that point.
Okay. Really good stuff here. We'll see where KULR goes here today. And you know what? It's 13. It's not just your penny stock that's moving here in the pre-market. Turns out my penny stock, OMDS, was also getting kicked up. This again on no fresh news. We had a whole bunch of news last week. So we'll see how these actually trade here today. Okay. Was there another stock that you want to take a look at? Do we want to break down the movers? I'm sure we can go to ticker time.
Yeah, so there's I covered 3 here today. The ones I didn't look at but we know about that look like they're going to have some movement today. UMAC, of course, KULR, OPTT, and then KABA, which is Cabaletta Bio. That one was getting some movement here. I looked at the chart, and it looks like it's setting up pretty nicely to try and break out of over 5. 495 is the current high of the pre-market, but I think once we get past that, 5, well, obviously 5 is going to be the next spot, but I'm just looking at 5 for the breakout target. It looks like we're starting to get up into that 495 area. We tried multiple times. That we didn't sell off after 3 times, which would usually be indicative of a triple top. Here we are still trying to break out a 4th time. So as long as that keeps the price keeps attempting to do that, I think this is going to be something to watch for a trade. Really think that 495 $5 breakout is coming pretty soon here. Just watch for volume expansion.
Okay, good stuff there. CABA, I would totally agree. At least here in the pre-market, this sure looks like this wants to go higher here. Maybe we do break out on that expansion, as you mentioned. Okay, I'm going to start here with PPBT. Okay. This is Purple Biotech. I actually think there is no try mentioned this earlier. Mm-hmm. Someone did. I can't remember who mentioned it, but in any case, here, Purple Biotech. PPBT. Purple Biotech shares are trading higher after the company announced final results from the randomized phase 2 study of its lead oncology drug, CM24, in patients with pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, excuse me. So, okay, positive data here, phase 2, plus 63.5%, actually a pretty decent looking pre-market setup here as well. Impulse move, we retraced 50% of it. We did not break down. Volume actually stepped back in. We've reclaimed the VWAP. This actually looks pretty good here for a trade. Do you have anything on this? I can go around the horn here and look at some of the other data points about this, but doesn't look like it's got a whole lot of high short interest. 31.
No, what do you think here? No high short interest. The phase 2, results are why it's moving. It has 31.2 million shares in the float, so a little bit heavier than what we'd like, but still not so heavy that it's going to be, one of these that leaks throughout the day. It just might not trade as well as some of these other movers. In any case, it had a reverse split on September 17th. It was a 1-for-20, and while it does have cash for at its current burn rate, I think it's going to need to raise cash for future trials. I don't think they have nearly enough in order to get through the next series of trials that they're going to have. So be careful at the same time with this one. This is going to have to raise some money pretty soon here.
Okay. Good stuff there. PPBT, we've seen some of these biotech names really get some juice. This one, pretty awesome intraday formation. If you take a look at the daily chart here, wow, looks a little bit rough. Maybe we've come off the bottom, though. Okay, next one here I have on my list is a new one. Looks like this just came to the top of the list, getting mentioned here by Crimp Biscuit. SNTI. This is Senti Biosciences. Senti Biosciences shares trading higher after the company announced a private investment in public equity to issue and sell an aggregate of 16,713 shares of Series A convertible preferred stock. Stock is up 143.5% here on that, on pretty decent volume. 13, what do you think about SNTI? I know we've traded this one before off of the relative volume scanner. So looks like we're getting more movement here today.
Yeah, I think you're right. We may have traded this one before. And in addition to that, that capital raise through the private investment, they also announced their phase 1 results of their SENTI-202 for relapsed refractory hematologic malignancies, including acute myeloid leukemia.
Well done with all of the medical terms there. I was watching that and I was like, hey, he's doing it. Nice job.
Thank you. So it's also moving on that as well. So a couple of news headlines here on this. So I would say that because of the phase 1 and looking at their cash position, they would need to raise it, but they also have to cover that news. So I don't think they're going to need cash at this point, but they are going to burn it. The company has 3.62 million shares in the float, much more along the lines of what we want to see for a mover. That's going to help us get this price action going. And it also did a 1-for-10 reverse split back on July 18th. So that's why we have the float that we have now, because of that.
Okay. All right. Really good stuff there. SNTI. Next here on the list is going to be JCSE. Now, I can't recall if I've traded this one before here.
Probably not.
Yeah, okay. This one looks like this did move here on Friday before the close, popped again here in the pre-market. If we take a look at the news here, I basically just have that news from Friday, so really nothing else here. Maybe this is just a continuation. What say you, JCSE?
Yeah, I saw that they had that news about the dividend from Friday. Didn't see any anything that would suggest that there's any news driving it today. It's definitely relative volume. If you look at the volume it had on Friday comparatively to other days it's traded, it's a very, very standout spike. So yes, I think this is just more relative volume. Usually when a company issues a dividend, the stock doesn't go up. It usually goes down since that's cash leaving the company. I can't get a good read on their income statement. Balance sheet looks all right, I guess, but I wouldn't trust the financials on this, and this isn't one I would trust anyway. So if you are going to trade it, just be very, very careful with this one. I think it's a junky company, super junky.
Okay. I kind of feel the same way here. We'll see. We actually have more stuff here to trade, so that we're actually familiar with. So, okay, good stuff there. We already talked about PPBT, NVCR. This is another one that's gapping up here. This is NovoCure. NovoCure shares are trading higher after the company announced its phase 3 PANOVA trial met its primary endpoint and demonstrated a statistically significant improvement in its median overall survival rate. So phase 3 here, we had phase 2. Here's phase 3. This stock, 44.7%. Is this a phase 3 sell the news event? What do you say here? Stock trading up quite a bit here. Does have some decent short interest, at least worth mentioning here. 6.26% of the float shorted, but 6.3 days to cover. So maybe we get some squeeze action here. It's like they're cash flowing positive they got plenty of cash. What do you think here, 13? This one actually looks interesting.
Well, they're cash flow positive, but they're still not profitable. They still lose 30 million a quarter, sometimes more. It's got 90 million shares in the float, so a little bit on the heavier side. I do think that you're probably going to see some initial upside movement out of the gate here, but eventually, probably in very short order too, I think it'll start selling. Like you said, phase 3 tends to be sell the news. The next step, unless there's some other trial they have planned, is usually to try to get FDA approval and bring it to market, and that's also an expensive endeavor. So they have the cash for it, but if we're going from $20 to almost $10 move in one day off of phase 3, I would think that maybe this would be a good time to, if you're in this, maybe consider selling into the strength. Otherwise, let's just day trade this.
Okay, and let's see if we get a pullback to a tradable area here. Just kind of looking at this, we're hovering right around $29. Love to see this come back in towards that VWAP at 27. Maybe give us an opportunity to load it there.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, Nicholas.
Yeah.
FDA approval on deck, but maybe we wait for that to. But yeah, that would be probably something, because this is going to be a sell the news. We got the phase 3 out of the way, and then after all that hype dies down, the stock's going to sell. It's also heavier float, so it's going to have that going against it. I think you're right. Let's wait until we get close to a potential FDA approval.
Yeah, the thing is, if that sells down and comes into a support level and holds it, that might be the time to actually start adding ahead of that. So it'd still be interesting. Yeah, it'd still be worth watching where this thing comes into. Okay, really good stuff there. Really good stuff on that one. Okay, we've got all of these here. It looks like PRZO is another one. This is TradeZero. We've definitely traded this one. Actually, didn't we trade this on Friday? I believe.
I don't know about Friday, but I think we did trade it last week.
I'm pretty sure it was Friday.
It's on my list from last week. I don't know exactly which day. I mean, maybe you're right, Friday, because Friday, that was a very big candle there.
Yeah, I mean, it had news. This is part of the drone theme that we've been talking about, and it's had recent news on drones here. I mean, just November's been a busy month for this company. Okay, let's now that November's closed, we'll see if that carries over into December. But starting at the beginning of the month here, we had PR about every week here on TradeZero here. Stock's up 33.9% here in the pre-market, $1.66. So we'll see if this kicks back into gear. Really nothing as of note on the short interest, really nothing on the insider transactions. Cash position, got about 5 million on the balance sheet. I don't really have cash flow numbers for it, so I don't really think that's a whole lot. 13 million market cap here. What do you think? Do you think this is a trade here?
I think it's on deck for a day trade today. I'm sorry, I'm just was seeing what Crimp Biscuit was mentioning with SNTI. This thing is actually trying to resolve, or it looks like it's about to resolve.
Look at that.
Well, it could be a scallop, but it's probably going to end up. I would look at 635 for a breakout. That's where we're headed. That's where I think we're going with this. We just need to see that volume continue to expand and push us up. But I think him saying going to 6, that's definitely looking like the case here. The big question is whether or not we break out of 635.
Okay, really good stuff there. I'm seeing this. I don't have a news story for this, but I'm just kind of seeing this across the wire. So I definitely wanted to mention this to you. Elon Musk's XAI has secured priority delivery for NVIDIA's GB200 Blackwell systems in January of 2025 by offering an above-market purchase premium on its $1.08 billion order. So XAI, Elon Musk's XAI, looking like they're paying more than the initial order in order to get priority delivery of the NVIDIA Blackwell systems. Remember, this comes on the back of Jensen telling us that the demand for this chip is insane. We also had news about overheating, news about not being able to necessarily fill all those orders. Looks like Elon Musk paying a premium to ensure that his order is filled. So we'll have to watch and see how that shakes out. I definitely thought that was interesting, though.
And did you see that Apple is not going to go with the 2 nanometer fabrication of their next generation of M5 AI chips? They're going to forego that because it's too expensive, and they're going to go with the 3 nanometer. So I guess they're just trying to curb costs. Maybe there's also an issue of waiting in line that's not going to meet production demand.
Yeah. See, I'm wondering which one it is, or if it's a combination of both, and I'm unsure that they're even going to tell you the truth on that.
Yeah, so a lot of really interesting things. It seems like at some point there's going to be 3 things happening here, and we're already starting to see it. Someone's going to start overpaying, someone's going to fall way behind, or it's not going. All the hype around this is going to be completely overblown. That's kind of where I'm at with this whole situation. Okay. Here goes SNTI looking for 6.
Apple flat here in the pre-market, by the way. Here is SNTI. Looks like it is going for that 6.
Yeah. That was a great call, Crimp. Or Crimp.
Did he change his name? I used to think it was Crimp.
No.
I've been calling him the wrong name this whole time. That would be embarrassing. Okay, Kaba, by the way, I know you had talked about that one. That's CABA, yes. Just to be clear. We talked about that one earlier. This is grinding higher. Looks like that's trying to go for the $5 handle that you mentioned as well. Just kind of cover, I'm going to kind of go rapid fire through some of these here. Stop me if you want to talk about any of these. Next one here is going to be ticker EHGO, Shalgo. Shalgo shares are trading higher. The company announced it secured $5 million through its convertible debenture offering. Looks like this popped as high as 7, bled back down here to 467, but is holding higher here by just about 28% in the pre-market. Not a whole lot of short interest on this. Nothing insider-wise. Don't have a lot of cash flow information here. Float about 11 million. We'll see if this one's interesting. Not one I'm familiar with. Ticker EHGO. Okay, next we have MOB here. This is Mobilicom. We've definitely traded this one before. Looks like this has actually had 2 spikes at the beginning of the pre-market here and now is drifting higher here. Was there any news on this MOB? Nope, don't see anything fresh here.
Yeah, I saw that was happened this morning as well.
Some decent short interest, at least notable short interest here. About 8.5% of the float shorted, 8.7 days to cover. If this continues to move here, and then taking a look, I don't have any finance. Oh, I do. There is some cash on the balance sheet for this one. Sorry, what did you have here?
I was going to say, well, this is moving with the drone theme.
Okay.
I don't see anything else to suggest why it's going this way. It's a drone play.
Okay. And then the one more here that I think you wanted to mention, or that you already mentioned, we mentioned UMAC here. This is one from last week. This has actually given us multiple opportunities to trade this. The original news here was Trump Jr. had joined the board. Stock has gone up since then. This also part of the drone theme, is it not? Developmental stage technology company. I believe that this is. Okay. This holding what?
Real quick, Nicholas Lavelle, does that kind of upend Moore's law?
Which one? What are we?
His comment. Yeah. Does that kind of upend Moore's law? Because to go, 10 times smaller than where we're at now at 2 nanometers, that seems like that's breaking the law. that's just, I don't know. That's what it sounds like. It seems like we're getting into, areas of molecular technology that don't really apply to that law anymore. So I'm just kind of curious. You're the nerd of this stream, so you tell me.
We use that term nerd endearingly around these parts, by the way, just to be clear. Okay, really quickly, I just wanted to mention, we mentioned UMAC, PDYN. This was another mover from last week. This is continuing to move here in the pre-market. DPro, this was a big mover from Friday. Looks like it's moving again here. I didn't trade DPro at all on Friday. I think somebody did. I can't remember who it was, but DPro here, this moving here in the pre-market. We already talked about ONDS a little bit. And then NBIS, this was also that new AI play that IPO'd recently up of $17 or so. It's actually 25.5. Shame on me. When this thing dipped back towards a 17, I actually didn't add. Here we go. Now we're getting some news here this morning. Oversubscribes to strategic equity financing of $700 million. So Nebius entered agreements for $700 million private placement financing from institutional investors. Says the board has determined potential repurchase of Class A shares is no longer warranted. Company also expects to deliver APR, by the end of the year of $750 million to $1 billion. Market loves hearing this, plus 16.7% here. Ticker NBIS.
I saw some folks asking about Archer. There's not a whole lot to cover with this one. This is we already know why it's moving. It's an EV play. This thing has a high short interest. It's hot right now with the EV tolls. Interest rates are lowering, so it's helping lift these small cap names. But as far as Archer goes, remember last week I was looking at $10 as being a potential resistance area, since that's essentially where SPACs kind of hang out at, the price they hang out at until they merge. Yeah. So that kind of created a bit of a resistance area. I'll be looking at the $10 handle as an area of resistance until we break through it and look at it as support by back testing it.
Okay. Really good stuff there. Izzy sold ONDS pop 127 from the 99 cents. Izzy, that's a good way to start off a Monday, is to ring that register early. Let's go. Really good stuff. I know you were thanking me for bringing that to your attention, but always remember, be sure to pat yourself on the back when you take risk and you successfully execute those trades. That's exactly what we want to see. Okay, there is no try as mentioning SMCI. I guess we better take a look at that. What?
It's got news.
All right, let's go in here. SMCI spiking here. Looks like $38 was the high here. Supermicro completes review by independent special committee determined resignation of Ernst & Young and conclusions stated were not supported by findings.
I would not touch this thing.
Okay, so just from reading again, I'm kind of knee-jerk reaction here. I'm going to keep reading this. The supported by an outside counsel, KULR LLP and forensic accounting firm Secretariat Advisors. Boy, that is the coolest name for an advisory firm I've ever come across. Finds no evidence of misconduct on the part of management or the board of directors, and that the audit committee acted independently. No restatement of reported financials are expected. So that's kind of what I want. What do you make of that? No restatement of reported. So is one of their earnings reports just still missing?
I would not touch this.
Interesting.
I mean, look, I think the whole independent investigate special committee is a complete sham. You get Ernst & Young say, no, we're not going to, a reputable auditor that just completely says, we're done with this. We're not touching it. This is, they're stonewalling us. The things that they're giving us aren't matching up. So they leave. They do an independent special committee with accounting firm Secretariat Advisors. I have no idea who they are. And then they say, oh yeah, nothing's wrong here. I don't buy that. And then they said they're not going to restate any, no restatement of reported financials expected. Okay. I feel like there are so many funky things going on behind the scenes of this company. This is a trade only for me. I would not want to hold this.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's interesting. The market here totally rewarding this news, but 13, the more I think about it, the more I think I'm on your side here on SMCI. So yeah. Say again. What?
I just don't buy it at all. It's a great, like Bigaby's just said, tradable BS. It's great. I think it's a great trade headline, but this is not something I would want to hold. I think this is absolutely.
Well, here you go. There is no try. Having no trouble trading this one.
Yes, there you go.
Worth of the 2X ETF. What is the SMCX? Can't remember which ticker that is, but awesome. Yeah, it's a nice. This thing popping 17% here. Be sure to pay yourself on that short-term trade there. There is no try. You know what? Our group is doing a really good job starting the day with register rings here today. That bodes well going forward. You just absolutely love to see that.
Line Alice, I did cover KULR real quick. I was looking for a trend break around 140, 135, 140 area. If it goes down, if it goes up, we're looking for a breakout of the 195 area. That's basically where I'm at right now. I don't own this anymore. I'm just going to be trading it, day trading it. This has got a very heavy float, so but it's great news. It's just that it has a heavy float, and I think we're going to start to see some weakness pretty soon, maybe. But that's what I think about KULR.
And real quickly here, just kind of back to SMCI. Neil here, absolutely right. This is great for bag holders. This is an opportunity to get out. Neil, you are 100% correct on this. 100% correct on this. And one of the things that you can look at here, some of these levels where the stock runs into, wouldn't necessarily be shocked to see some of those levels come back into play as either buyers or sellers are starting to get out of their position there. Neil, you're right here on the bag holders. Really good mention.
And I will also say that SMCI does have a really good setup off the bottom here, like it bull flagged, and it's trying to break out over the 500. I hate to say that the technicals look good, like it's gonna has more upside into the 40, maybe somewhere between the 40s and 50s it could go, but the whole thing with their accounting and the way that they've been going about this, I'm sorry, I just do not buy it. I think it's absolute BS. And I'm really curious to see what the NASDAQ board thinks about their compliance plan as a result of this. So let's see what happens with that.
So far here, so good, SMCI. And just kind of looking at where we're at here on the daily, this move here now has taken us above the 50, which is what stopped the move the last time we traded back up. So to your point about seeing how this ends up shaking out here, we get a close above this 50 here. Man, I despite not liking it, I almost think we're looking at a gap fill here, maybe 47, the next upside target here, 47, 48. That's also where the 100-day is in there. So, wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, SMCI, what other stocks do you folks want to take a look at here? But we've had a lot of stuff move around here this morning. Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas, for the response. That's actually really helpful information. I appreciate your input on that. He was getting back to me about the Moore's Law question I had. Yes, probably is what he was answering. Paraphrasing, this could be the moment where quantum computing overcomes the limits of Moore's Law. Very interesting.
Okay. Kaba here, Gary mentioning Kaba, this actually spiking. This did break out from that $5 level that we gave you earlier here in the show. So we've already got a pre-market breakout here, Gary. Really good stuff. For any of you that took that, hopefully you're ringing the register on that. That's really good. Yeah.
That's what we wanted to see.
Yeah, that's
what we wanted to see out of Kaba. Yeah.
Okay. Florida Yacht Insurance guy, good to see you this morning. Hopefully all is well down there in Florida. You're mentioning ticker HURA, HURA. This is TradeZero Biosciences. So this had a nice move here on Friday, and so far it's held this. I'm not sure what's going on. I know we're down 5% here on the pre-market on really light volume. Not necessarily sure what's going on with this one. Don't have a float reading, it looks like, so I don't have a float calculation for you here. Really, really low volume. Only 57,000 shares here traded. I actually like to see some more volume here, and I don't see any recent news.
What is this company about? Because it looks like you got one of your floating islands here back on in October, and it looked like it started leaking a little bit, but it's come back up to about the area where it popped up to. So I don't know if you're looking at a daily chart like I am, but that's so let's see with
immuno-oncology company here, phase 3 registration. So here, I'm actually gonna load up the daily chart here in the 13. I gotta step away for just 1 sec. I'll be right back. Here is your daily chart here. Is this the island that you were talking about real quick? Yeah, so we did break this to the downsides. That make this a little bit more difficult here. But honestly, this does look like 8 to me would be the next spot here on Hura.
Okay. Yeah.
Just kind of looking at this chart here with no other information, sure looks like 8 would be the next spot. I actually wouldn't be shocked if we tested that level and then kind of backed off of it with the RSI being elevated here.
Depending on how the let's see, on the daily RSI, we're still not quite to 70. I could see it backing off, but at the same time, I could also see if we get enough volume, it breaking through and running. I don't know if it'll go to 16, but it could break out of 8 and then come back in. I could definitely see that too.
Okay. Is there another stock that you want to take a look at here, Carmen? You want to take a look at OPTT? Maybe I'll go to that intraday chart. I have to step away here for 1 sec, 13. So here, I'm going to put the intraday chart up here for OPTT. I'll be right back.
All right. So OPTT, looking at a daily chart, you have the intraday one. All right. Let me bring that up on my scanner as well, or my broker. So what, 81.6 is about the high that we got this morning. Looks like we're slightly beneath VWAP. I don't know what y'all's VWAP looks like, but it's slightly beneath mine right now. Looking for a recapture of that. That would be the first thing I'd want to see. It kind of looks like we have a bit of a head and shoulders pattern in the pre-market. The high being the head, of course. Let's see if this gets support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which I currently have just above 64 cents. That would be where I'd want to see the earliest level of support. If not there, then maybe just slightly beneath it around 62. Looking at a daily chart, this thing is actually looking much better on the daily chart. This thing popped back in July all the way up to 57 cents, and then it didn't do. It came back in and didn't do really much of anything until late last month, November, where we've just seen multiple green days. We're going to get a golden cross here at some point, probably this month if the price stays up here. Broke out of the 200, 500. The 500 has been one of the big spots where it's been getting resistance. As a matter of fact, the last time we broke out in July, the 500 is the moving average that didn't let it go any further. So once we get past that, let's see here. An upside target would be 78 cents. You can see from the July and January 2023 highs, that was a resistance area. So we'll look at that, and then 94. So a couple of levels that you have there before we even get to $1 yet. But it looks like at some point we could run up to $1. I don't know when that'll be, but it looks like we're headed there. Those are the levels we would need to break through. OPTT's fortune will rise with RCAT. Perfect. Then then I guess we just buy a basket of these drone plays, since a lot of them are so tied together. So you could buy OPTT and RCAT together. Is that your play, Carmen? The Crow saying PRZO not looking too bad. Well, take a look at that. That was I think we just mentioned that one earlier. Yeah, we did. So that was moving on Friday. So this is the relative volume play that we were also talking about earlier today. Looks like 175 is the big area it has to get over. There's a lot of sell orders right in the way in the pre-market. Interestingly enough, that's also where the VWAP is, or at least where I have VWAP. So we get past that, then it looks like we're going to have a little bit of pre-market consolidation between 180 and $2. That'll be the next challenge to get through. And it looks like we already got smacked down once in the pre-market around 805, or I'm sorry, 905. Nope, no, I'm sorry. I was right. That was 805, where we spiked up, almost hit $2, but that consolidation pushed the price right back down. Now, if it gets to that consolidation, we're going to look for some more upside movement that's going to take out the 218 pre-market high that we got at as soon as the pre-market opened at 4 in the morning. That's about what I've got. Also, we're getting so Carmen saying OPTT's $1 may hit tonight. They are giving us an ER preview after hours. That's great. Thank you for that information, Carmen. You heard it here, folks. The OPTT is getting some ER preview information tonight. Tamed Craziness looking at Rocket Lab. What is Rocket Lab doing today? Is this continuing to go higher? Man, this thing is just
about that.
Well, it looks like the space play, no problem. It looks like the space plays are doing pretty well. Rocket Lab being one of the ones at the forefront here with an absolutely extended RSI. This thing's going to have to come back in, and it's going to come back in like that Tesla booster, or I'm sorry, like that SpaceX booster did the last test flight.
I was going to say, is it going to get caught?
No, I think this is going to, if this comes back in, I'd be looking at around 2150 as the earliest support level. I don't even know if that'll hold, but Rocket Lab just absolutely on fire, way overvalued. But as I've said before, I think eventually it'll grow into its valuation. This company is kicking ass. SNTI above 7 says Crim Biscuit, and Crow saying it's gone. Excellent, guys. Excellent.
So all of the ones that we've identified here from this morning, looks like those are the ones that are moving here. Kaba came back in. We wanted that.
Oh, man.
KULR's still holding there.
What a great setup SNTI had, too.
Let's take a look here at SNTI. No pre-market trades for me here today. Boy, there goes SNTI. I'd love for that to come back in, honestly.
SMCI is flying. Oh, man.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. We covered the news here. New CFO as well, looks like, SMCI.
Yeah. So it's going to unload all the bad financial headlines and everything on the outgoing CFO and say, okay, all the bad stuff's gone with him now. Clean slate. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, it would appear that that's what they're trying to do here.
That's what they're trying to do, though.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, there is no try. Rocket Lab is a great day trade. Well, now that some of these have already started to move before the market opened, where do we go next? Let's see. PBBT. This thing is going lower into the open, so maybe that might be setting up for a bounce, possibly off the 65 EMA. If you look at pre-market,
sorry, which one? I was reading a press release. I apologize. Which one?
No problem. BBPT. I'm sorry, PPBT. Let's call it purple. Purple Biotech. Okay. So purple is already got support from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute once this morning, and we're headed back down there again. So I'll be looking at that level as a bounce spot potentially. No guarantee that it will, but that's the first level I'll be looking at.
I've got that at 449. Let's call it 450. Price currently at 508. Good morning, Jay Wild. Great to see you here this morning. Mark, we did cover Intel CEO resigning here. Just my knee-jerk reaction to that. That's good. That was actually something I told you I was waiting for. Some new leadership there at the top. Maybe Intel has put in a near-term bottom there. We shall see. I'm just kind of looking at the scanner here. Looks like a lot of the names that we had talked about are on here. MOB, this is up near the highs. Airship, that's AISP. Sure looks like we're going to try and break out.
Oh,
there.
yeah, that looks good.
NBIS, this was the AI name. This looks like this is trying to go higher here. So green arrows across the board. Gave you a little check-in on the market earlier. We're still about flat here. S&P futures up 0.02%. Dow down 0.02%, and NASDAQ up 0.2, so 0.2% here. We're about flat across the board. Ahead of this open. UAVS? Yep.
No, we could look at that one. I was going to look at have you look at Lunar first, since Hustle and Bustle was asking about that. This one, this is really great to see. So we talked about this one getting over that 1620 level. I was looking for it to go to 1750. Didn't quite get there. We got as high as 1714 on Friday, so I'll have to tighten that up. But he did get some support from that 1620 area, and we've held that all through the rest of Friday, after hours, and pre-market this morning. So that's going to be the big support level to watch for, 1620. Now, what we want to see is the price to continue trading up out of the open and take out that 1714 and finally get to 1750. So that's what I'm going to be looking at with Luna today. I don't know that we'll get that or not, but it's all going to be dependent upon what the volume looks like out of the open. The pattern is there, so it could do that. It just depends on the volume. Okay. Yep.
Real good stuff. Do we want to talk? Didn't really see anything there with UAVS. This is going to be on deck here today, especially with this gapping up over over Friday's intraday high. But I didn't see, nothing new here on the news with UAVS. SNTI 10. Crow's calling for $10 here on SNTI. This actually breaking even higher here.
They do like that cash raise.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
And I think this is it's not the lowest float one that we looked at today, but it's definitely down there with the others. One thing about UAVS I was just looking at, it might get a bounce off the 65 EMA. It's currently in the process of doing that, but let's see if it continues in the open.
Okay, we've got 4 minutes till we open here. Things looking pretty good across the board here. Real quick in Chicago, it's a cold one here today. 20 degrees outside. That's up from the 14-degree low that we had. I'm actually going to grab a hoodie here in a sec.
Oh, Jose.
Vuzi?
I wanted to look at Vuzi. Yeah. So one thing about Vuzi, and because Intel used to have a 30% stake in this. So it may get a little bit of a relationship trade here. I don't know for sure if that's what we're seeing, but because they used to have ties to Intel, it may trade with the news a little bit. Also, it has a high short interest. We have a read here at 15.5%, 16 days to cover. That's definitely a squeeze candidate. So, they also had news about the U.S. Department of Labor's occupational OSHA basically expanding the deployment of Vuzi M400 smart glasses. So we talked about how they had a lot of industrial applications. That's a great sign. And then they also have Zoom integration. So this is interesting. They're expanding the deployment of this so that they can basically enhance safety and inspections and during their field operations. Very interesting stuff. Thank you for bringing that up, Jose.
I'll tell you what, Zoom integration is extremely interesting to me. Being able to sit in some of my Zoom meetings while I'm out walking around just because I have my glasses on and my earbuds in. Yeah, that you could sell me on that for sure. That actually sounds pretty interesting there.
I've been on the smart glasses thing for so long. I'm so surprised that Apple hasn't come out with something better. Like that headset. Wow. I lost so much faith in Apple when they brought that out. And look what happened. Nobody wanted it.
Yeah, I will say, we talked, kudos to us, though. We talked about when that got released. I don't think that's going to be a needle mover. And you were one of the first people that I remember to say at 13, they really need to look and behave like regular glasses. Yeah. No one's going to find putting on like these virtual goggles palatable and then walk. I mean,
and you're 100% right, Nicholas. 100% right. Ray-Ban and Meta, they absolutely slapped Apple out of the way and said, look, this is how you do it.
Yep. And like I said, I mean, give me a pair of those glasses that allows me to read the break on a green and tracks my shots with the TrackMan tracer. I mean, forget, dude, that is the only feature that I would absolutely throw my money at that. So we'll see.
30 seconds, and SNTI is trying to push up ahead of that open. Look at 750.
Yep,
There's a
sure
big wall
is.
there. Now, if we pull out of the open with SNTI, we might get some support around 635. That'd be the level I'd be watching.
I'm going to watch this opening print here. Market is open, 15 seconds.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm excited. This is a good Monday here.
It's been good so far. Let's keep it going.
By the way,
folks.
Bitcoin, when we first started talking about Bitcoin, that's actually up off the 96K low on the futures as well, 97K now. So we'll watch those Bitcoin plays. We're open. We are open. First move here, SNTI. It's trying to go higher here. 720 break, try. KULR. Just going to flip through some of these other ones. EHGO
Yes.
trying to go lower. SNTI.
100%, Carmen. Like we've been saying, Apple is not inventing anything new. They need to change that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The thing that's important to remember about that, I know we harp on that a lot. Here's the thing. Their user base and install base is so humongous that if they have even one new product with moderate adaptability or moderate success, it's going to be a huge mover for Apple. I mean, take a look at the smartwatch. People were skeptical of that initially, and now it's a huge seller for them.
Lunar absolutely cratering out of the open here.
What's going on?
I don't know. It's just
oh my goodness. Really big pull here. SNTI looks like that might be reversing as well.
No, I think it's just doing part of that initial selling where it when it makes a bull flag or bull pennant, it usually trades a little bit lower and then it turns around and goes higher. I think that's what we're starting to see out here. Right now, it actually looks more like it's starting to broaden out, making a megaphone pattern, but we'll see what happens. Archer down. Yeah, looks like maybe it's a lot of these names that were running last week are going to get a little bit of a pull in the morning here. Let's see what happens.
NBIS going for that 27 handle here on NBIS.
RGTI, that was getting mentioned this morning. That one's positive out of the gate. Looking for 366 pre-market high to take out.
Rigetti's been really strong recently. Here you go on the and this actually looks like this might push here.
Yeah.
NBIS continuing to trade above $27. That thing's a fast mover there, NBIS.
The Crow's saying he's watching PRZO, and here we go with SNTI. That's just made a new intraday high of 768. Back and forth this one.
This one at this point, I really want this to pull. Give me a pull and I'll feel better about trading it. But right now, I feel like I can't buy this. SPY continuing to pump higher here on SPY. 603.48 going to be your new high there. That's a new all-time high.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is being fueled by the speculated Japan decision to the Bank of Japan decision to, I think, raise rates. I think I was reading that over the weekend.
Sorry.
Okay.
PRZO here, which was mentioned by Crow, this continuing to push through that 93 to 95 area. It looked like there was some size there. Big size there at 2. Wouldn't be shocked if we went for that again here. 199, 2 is going to be your pre-market high. That's what stopped it. Watch that $2 level here on PRZO. And while it might actually pull back, we got VWAP here at 180 on PRZO, so maybe we pull back towards that area before taking that out. We'll see here on PRZO. This one's kind of interesting. I want to take a look around the horn here. Let me know if you guys have any really good trades going off here. MSTR, this trying to go green. Well, it is green here, but it's trying to push and really kind of launch. Rigetti, that's trying to get above the pre-market high. PRZO, is this still going? Yep, here we go. Watch that 2 spot here on PRZO, folks. They actually, sorry, 13. They chopped some of the size down there on PRZO at 2. See if they go right through it here.
And they have the big size at 215 since that pre-market high of 218 is right in that area. That's the big area to get over. And then once we pass through that, should see some huge movement.
Okay, here you go. It's trading right up to that 13.
Well, we need to keep with this volume. We need actually more volume than this. It has to really, really expand a lot here.
Here you go.
It's chewing at it, but not really taking it out quite yet.
Yeah, it looked like it did hit some of it there, but didn't take a whole lot. Now it's backing off here. That's not terrible either, especially if that sets up to go higher. Smita's asking about oh, is that Smita? Sorry.
Plug Power?
Yeah.
Saw some news about hydrogen. Don't know. I don't recall how much of it was recent.
I want to watch this PRZO move, but I'll check the news here real quick for Plug. Don't see anything new here on Plug, folks.
Yeah, it might just be getting a lift from news about hydrogen in the sector. Okay, so SNTI, I think you may have gotten your pull, and now it's turning around and trying to go back up higher.
I'll tell you what, though, that didn't pull enough for me to really kind of entice me to buy that. But you're right there, 13. I think we did get that there. Lion Atlas mentioning up on Tesla. I did notice some Tesla calls getting bought out of the open here. Tesla ripping out of the open, plus 3.7%. Yep.
Here's SNTI pulled again. It's going back and forth a lot. So you might.
That's what I'm saying. Like I kind of want this, like this opening chop that we're getting. I really want this to resolve. Let me pull in here 650, 630. That would be an area to maybe look at that.
Okay.
And look at that long. Sorry if that wasn't clear. CABA looks like that breakout kind of got sold. SMCX, it was SMCX. So whoever's trading SMCI here, SMCX obviously going with that to the long side here. SMCI did pull off the highs of the pre-market there. Didn't quite get 40. Here's SNTI.
We're trying to push up through that 772. And then Carmen, that's the news I was reading, is that Musk was saying he's moving to hydrogen-powered cars. I don't know how much of that is true, but I think that's what I was reading, and I think that's one of the reasons why you might be seeing hydrogen, up today.
PRZO pulled all the way back to the VWAP. That's kind of what we were waiting for there on PRZO. I'm actually taking a little here at 196. We'll try for a bounce play. UMAC, this actually first move here was lower, but not breaking down. Airship, we talked about this one earlier, still looking to bust through 380 to the upside. AISP.
Here we go with SNTI trying to take out that 772. Getting pretty close. Yeah, I'm really curious about the whole hydrogen space, and I know that Tim Melvin was saying that it's not gonna happen, but I still think that it's going to be a future fuel.
I think so too. I think they're not going to happen probably near term here. I agree with you on the future fuel. Good morning, Mike. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully your holiday was great for you and your family.
Ooh.
Okay, so SNTI up that first pull looks like that got stopped here. I've got that at 667. Really almost want to call that 675, that area though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait a little bit with SNTI. I don't like those upper shadows the way they're looking right now.
Okay, fair.
So I already got a couple of trades in that one. I'm just gonna wait. If it runs from here, great. But I don't like the way that the price action is out of the gate here. Okay. Okay, so look at this. KULR went down to 145. Not quite the level I was looking for a test of that trend. About 5 cents, a little too high, but getting a bit of a reversal here.
And it's trying to recapture that 65 EMA on the 5 that you like so much.
Yep. Yep, I do like it.
PRZO here. This actually did try to bounce off that VWAP. Awesome. Let's keep going here. My entry on that VWAP pull 196. Boy, sometimes better to be lucky than good. Looked like we brought in a really decent bid there at 195. That means my stop here now placed 194. If I get shaken, I get shaken. Otherwise, let's see if we continue to bounce here. PRZO.
I saw something. Hustle and Bustle. Toyota's heavily invested in hydrogen. They are heavily invested in. Well, I think they're invested in trying to make use of hydrogen. I know that they're really heavy into fuel cells, so I think that they are working really diligently on trying to get hydrogen to be, they're trying to move away off of fossil fuels, go to hydrogen. I don't know how much of their economy is going to be revolving around hydrogen, but it is something that they are really, really trying to build their next generation of vehicles with.
AI EV dumping, that was a penny stock. Oh my goodness. I was going to say that was a penny stock from Friday. Actually traded that one a little bit. for a 10-cent gain between 70 and 80. Looking at it today, 37 cents. Yikes. Stay away from those penny stocks. I can't believe I was lucky. I was lucky. I can't believe that. Rigetti, this pulled back here as well.
All of these names are pulling. They are all pulling. We're
Okay.
getting the pull from well, we got the pull from Lunar, from Purple. SNTI still not done yet. Let's see here. UAVS that pulled, but that's still trying to pop up. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just to answer Jay Harris asking here, is SMCI going to drop? Do I need to bust out the 8-ball? If I do, we will. The one thing that we did say here at SMCI 13 was very, very clear. Did not trust it. Really good news. It was flying higher here this morning, but didn't trust it here. It could very easily.
I also said that the technical setup looks really good, and on the 5-minute chart, it looks like it's putting in a bull flag. So it could go higher than the current price, maybe even the high that it put in earlier. How much higher it goes, I don't know. I think maybe somewhere in the 40 to 50 area, it's going to find a lot of resistance. But it's definitely set up to break higher than the high it put in earlier. All right, so still not getting a break over 772 in SNTI. I still think that we're going to probably get some more weakness in this before we see it rally. PRZO, this one actually looks pretty good, holding the VWAP.
Yep.
See if we can get some follow through with the 220. With all the other ones pulling, I'm very, very cautious about.
I don't blame you.
Into this.
I don't blame you, and I'm actually in a starter here. Starter was at 196. But because it's not really a whole lot, I would like to see this move higher. I'd like to see this take out 210 on PRZO. We'll see if we get that. Hustle and Bustle mentioning that NVIDIA is climbing. Take a look at that here real quick.
Probably on that X news or the XIII news.
Yep. PRZO higher still. Here we go. 208. Watch this 210 area. Big size there. It's getting hit. It's like they added some more there. Step backing off that 210 spot. That's still the spot to watch there. You said 220 has that's got more. That's the highs there. Yep. They're taking 210. That's down. Here, that 220's next here, 13.
Yep. Well,
I see some size there at 215 deleted. Yep. See you later. Here's 221. It looks like they set a new high there. I didn't sell yet, but I'd like to sell into a pop here. Do see some more size there, 225. There it goes. PRZO. Let's see if 225 gets hit.
It's trying to chew it, but they keep reloading it.
Yeah, and then a big pull. Oh my,
that's ugly.
Oh my, thankfully my entry was good, and I didn't have weak hands there. Just goes to show you what an entry can do.
So one thing I'm seeing here with NVIDIA, despite the good move it's having today, it looks like
PRZO right here.
Well done. It looks like this is putting in a bear flag. Let's do this. Let's see if NVIDIA can get back above the 20-day SMA. And then I won't talk about bear flags in NVIDIA for a little while. But let's see if it can do that. If it can recapture and hold above the 20-day SMA, then I'll believe that it's going higher. Right now, it's just rebounding off the selling, and I think it looks like it could be going lower. But let's see what happens first. Either it's going to recapture the 20 and go higher, or it's going to get rejected at the 20 and go back down to the 50.
Don't forget that 141-ish level kind of represents the top area there of the triangle that we've drawn. Those were those recent highs that it finally pushed through. NVIDIA. Let's go back to my main workspace here real quick.
Looks like we're getting a rebound in all the names that we're selling off. UAVS now turning around and trying to go higher. Purple Bio is trying to turn around. Not successful quite yet. KULR is turning around. DJT that sold off at the I know some folks are talking about that one. No one sold off at the morning here and it's rebounding.
I haven't looked at DJT yet today.
Ocean Power, that was a great rebound off the 65 EMA. Sorry, I'm moving around so fast.
It's okay. I think there were a number of people watching OPTT here. This actually did bounce off 65 cents there. EDYN, this is breaking down a little bit. Planet Labs higher, ONDS back at the bottom of the pre-market range. NBIS that really rocketed through 25. Holy smokes, we printed almost 28 on that pop there at NBIS. Wow.
MACD on the 5-minute OPTT chart, that looks like it's giving us an indication that this is going to try and go higher, maybe even take out that 81.6.
Okay, here is your OPTT chart.
KULR, $2
Yeah, I'll
plus.
tell you what, PRZO, this still grinding. This actually trying to go higher. Continue to watch that 220 level. I actually don't see a lot of size there. I do see some bids being brought in here above 2, so it looks like they're trying to support this above 2. I do still see that size at 225. I'm all out on the current scalps here, green on the day, but this might go higher. This might not be done here, PRZO. UMAC getting halted here. Tom, let me check UMAC out.
Yep, halted to the upside.
Oh, this was halted a little bit ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay. Looks like ARQQ just got halted as well. That's to the upside. What's going? Another quantum name here, ARQQ. Don't see any news on this, but boy, oh boy, up 62% here, halted to the upside. Holy smokes. By the way, I've noticed this out of the corner of my eye here. I know a lot of you folks have been asking Tim Melvin about this. This was NEP. This was one of the big dividend payouts that he gave us here. And this thing got beat. This thing got beat down. We were first talking about this in like a mid to high 20 handle here. This has sold off. Now, I still own all of my shares from this. I was actually adding on the way down here. Does look like maybe we've put in a bottom here. NEP up almost 7%. Dividend seems safe here. They just paid out the last one. I'm actually not even down considering dividend payouts because the dividend is so high on this name. But nice performance here from the underlying as well. Up a full $1 from where we were at on Friday. NEP, NEP. I think the last payout was 14.5% on that dividend. I mean, giddy up. That's several double-digit dividends we've been a part of here on NEP. SNTI looks like this is flagging up here right around. Oh, there was a pop there too. SNTI. I don't have a level 2 for this one, so beg your pardon.
Well, at least those wicks were telling us that it was going to head lower. That was the lowest print of the regular session.
Tell you what,
now we're turning around.
On the prop firm here, the 3-minute chart, this thing came in, tapped the VWAP, and is going higher. Watch these highs here, SNTI. Those wicks, that 13 that you were talking about earlier, I've got that at about 761, maybe 763. We'll see if those wicks get blown away here.
Because if they do, happy birthday to us.
Exactly. Blow out them candles, baby. It's you got it. We didn't even need to talk about that one. You just got it. Izzy, really good sale on your ONDS earlier. I know I've been talking about, my own plan for that. I'm in that for the long term, but you really did a good job there actively trading around that. Really good stuff. That has pulled back here now. Mob X looks like this is trying to break and maybe make a run towards 2. Airship, this also has some action here. 380 maybe on a breakout there. TSSI getting mentioned here in the chat by Kathy. Good morning, Kathy. TSSI, this is actually ramping on some pretty good volume here. I don't see any new news on this. Maybe just a continuation from last week.
What was it doing last week? Was it did we have relative volume last week?
Well, it looks like it's really had a recent move here. Last week, we did have some insider activity selling stock. The company continued to move higher here, though, interestingly enough.
SNTI is approaching the breakout spot.
SNTI, no position here, unfortunately.
I'm just waiting to see what some of these other ones are going to do. Looking,
yes.
Yeah.
Date Raider, is that what your name is supposed to be? Date Raider?
Date trader.
Date trader. Okay. The 8s have me all confused. Sorry, was that NEP you were talking about with the 14% dividend? Yes. NEP, next era. Glenn here giving us one of his Fibo levels here. AISP, this actually did break higher here. AISP 0.236 Fibo level at 440. That looks to be your next spot here. AISP 440 to the upside.
So there's a tweet, an X post from Michael Moe, the CEO of KULR, asking, should KULR Tech adopt Bitcoin treasury strategy?
So didn't we hear that with Rumble recently? Did he do a poll too? The KULR CEO doing a poll there?
Yes, he is. He's doing a poll. You can find the link in the happy hour chat.
SNTI, nice break and going higher here. Great job for all you folks that were trading this one. Not in this one, but man, oh man.
SNTI halted, somebody said. Is that true? No, it's not halted.
No, it is not halted. It is raging right now.
Breakout. Nice. And not halted, but I mean, I could see how it could, but it's going to have to move a little bit more than this.
Here you go, 13.
There it is.
Here you go. Should KULR adopt Bitcoin treasury strategy? Yes. Look at the results. 70% of the 835 recipients voting yes. 6 hours left on this poll. I'm going to retweet this. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to follow this cat.
There you go.
Okay, good stuff here. Shout out to Zoltan for flagging the tweet for us. Really good eye there, 13. Really good eye.
Well, I was brought to us by the folks in the happy hour chat.
Okay, well then forget it. You didn't do anything. Thank you, chat.
Yes, there you go. That is appropriate. Okay. Looks like KULR just got a whole lot of bids down at 162. That could help lift this up higher into the 170s again.
Thinking about it, this is interesting. I love when CEOs do polls. Sounds like they don't know what they want to do and are asking investors so decisive. So I'd actually take the other side of that. I actually do. I think that you're being just a tad facetious right there. I do actually like this because, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but it does give me the feeling as if the company cares about what investors or users think about the company. I like that on its surface, but that's what makes the market. Do I own any XRP? No. I've only owned three coins, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And recently I converted all my Litecoin into Ethereum and then staked it so I can earn APY on that.
OPPT losing the 65 EMA. So we did get support from it earlier after that initial drop, but it did not hold. So next level down, potentially 55 cents.
Good stuff there. Meanwhile, SNTI continuing to rage. 10 prints look like they're on deck here for SNTI. Now, I'm watching this really kind of run away. I've got no active position in this. We see the volume expansion. All things pointing good here on SNTI. If you have this, make sure you're paying yourself on the way back up here. I'd really like to see this pull back in, give us some type of support area and hold that. We'll see if maybe $8, if it can do that. SNTI, nice little rip here.
Getting a mention from Izzy that Archer getting pounded, ACHR.
Yeah, we had a spammer come in here earlier saying that they were something about a short report. I don't know. I can't speak to the legitimacy of that. He kept spamming, so I just slapped him with the ban hammer.
There was a short report that was mentioned yesterday. Here, let's
short report. Bears look to fade Archer. Maybe this is what he was talking about.
Yeah.
The Fly's weekly recap. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. This is the same for me as it was on the way up. I definitely piked this. I definitely sold it a little bit earlier. Sold it, I think, the 615-ish area. This thing ran almost to 10. So I left several dollars on the table here. But we talked about this likely pulling back here. I'm okay with that, especially if this pulls back to a level and holds it. I'd be looking to maybe add some more back here for the long term. How fuzzy is that short report? LOL. Yeah, I see what you did there, Nick. Not sure if that's the. I don't think that is Fuzzy Panda. How good is it going to be? We'll have to wait and see here. Archer, big move down 20.5% here.
Yep.
Felipe here mentioning maybe a potential bounce here at 650. We'll see if we get that bounce here, Felipe.
Gosh, nothing but red candles today. I mean, for Archer is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It looks like there might be some support for Archer at 725. We have that consolidation from the pre-market of the November 26th all the way into the after hours. So that the consolidation may provide some support. All right, SNTI. This thing is approaching 10.
Maybe it backs off if it hits 10. PPBT bouncing. Good call here. Parker's Thinkorswim custom indicators. Can I just call you Parker? Bonjour, Smoke Tuna. Happy Monday. Hopefully you're well.
Yeah, Joby down too. So, the EV tools had a nice run. They're coming in. They don't make money yet. But they will.
Which is, we were very clear about that from the beginning, by the way. UMAC here doing a decent job holding on to 20 thus far.
It's just been back and forth all morning. Still up though.
EHGO. This was one of our big poppers earlier. This thing, what a disappointment this has been.
What is?
EHGO. That was one of our movers here from this morning on news, but that thing just done nothing but sell off. ARQQ, we talked about this huge rip up to 3250. This has pulled back 7 points. Taking PRZO on a flush, says Smoke Tuna. I'm assuming you've already done that here, as PRZO did flush. This is actually what we're, at least what I'm waiting for here on SNTI. We'll see if we get that. But here is your PRZO. Looks like I have that just reclaiming VWAP here. Really good stuff there, Tuna. Really good process, too. Being patient and buying the weakness, not the strength.
All right. Looking around here.
So real quick, Tamed Craziness. Love that YouTube handle. I'll do nothing to tame you, by the way. Ryan, Solana is staking at 3.61% APR. Interesting. So maybe Solana, one of those coins that I also see. Here's the thing. I'm not up on the shit coins, as they like to say. I'm a believer in Bitcoin and the blockchain technology and Ethereum and all of that. So I kind of just stick to that, and I don't actively trade it. But this is interesting. If you're telling me that I could give myself some exposure to Solana here and then also earn money for just kind of staking that Solana, I could be interested in that. I'll look into that. Let me put that on my note sheet here real quick. Appreciate you. Untame yourself, baby. Sorry. Go ahead.
Looks like OPT is gonna go lower. Maybe 55 cents is where it could find a support, but for now it's not looking great.
The market turning around here real quick. So we had talked about the market really kind of being flat earlier. Looks like that is a little bit different now. S&P futures here right at unchanged. S&P futures right at unchanged here. SPY right at break even, but you can see we are down off those highs here. NASDAQ ripping higher. NASDAQ up 0.75% here. The Dow is actually down about 0.5%. Okay, SNTI looks like it's slowing down here before making that move to 10. Sorry, 13, get in there.
No worries. The KULR Navy news, that I see that happening last Monday. That's when that came out. I don't know if there's any newer news than that, but they're going to be doing high temperature internal short circuit cells for the U.S. Navy. Is that the headline you were seeing there, Izzy? Looks like PRZO is turning around here, or trying to.
PPBT, this looks like this actually kept moving up off the bottom there. Really good stuff there. No trade on that for me yet today, and no position on that one. Should have probably kept a closer eye on it. Here is your PRZO. I like this here right at 2. Let's see if we can take 2 out. I have no position on this, but I do like it.
Taking out 2 and going back up into the 2 teens would be great.
Yeah, it's trying here. Do see some size here right at 2. Nothing that it hasn't already deleted here today, but so far still struggling with that.
Well, and I imagine the volatility in crypto is great right now, since everything has been so beaten up. SNTI over 10 now. 1029 is the high.
Yeah. Oh my God! So that did pop 10 there. Really good stuff here, group. Any of you that were on SNTI, you've got to be doing well here today. Nice move there.
And he's out. Well done. All right, next one. Deep Pro actually went down to the 200 EMA and is trying to bounce. I don't know if we're going to get more than that. A lot of these come down to some levels and just bouncing, but I need to see them, recapture some of the previous ones now.
Walter is right. ISM manufacturing PMI due here in under a minute.
Great job, Sideshow.
ARQQ, that came all the way back in. Let's see. You guys are also mentioning some of these other quantum names. QUBT.
Yeah, I saw that Ionic was down. IONQ. That might be trying to find a bottom. Turn around.
God, but 11 now for SNTI. Boy, I'll tell you what.
All right. Time to find some silly levels.
I was going to say, I'm sitting over here like a doofus waiting for this to pull back, and it's like no pullbacks. No pullbacks. Here we go. Thank you, producer. USA ISM manufacturing prices for November, 50.3 versus the 56 estimate. Boy, light number there. The prior read was 54.8. Market really kind of unchanged here. I guess it's really not reacting to this. It's in the same spot it was just in.
I don't have any crazy. The craziest level that I have next for SNTI is up in the 30s, but I don't know that we'll get there. So let's just say if it's going to go crazy, 30 to 30 is going to be that number. But 32. I think it needs to. Yeah, but first it's got to get past 12. I think it's going to go to 12. 12 looks good. Oh, well, I say that and then it goes right up to there. So there's 12.
Crimp Biscuit here in at 509, out half 1099. Well, gosh, that's going to get you a register ring. Crimp Biscuit, you're starting off Monday on the right note here. Jay Walker, man, please stop talking about SNTI. No can do here. It's one of the top movers of the day. Yeah, but that's exactly. Thank you, 13. That's exactly where I was going here. I was in at 4 and closed my full position an hour ago. Dude, you won. You won. You might get another opportunity at this. Just be happy with the money that you made.
All right. Okay. Well, that
Robert, you ever look at your portfolio and see a sea of red when the market is green? First of all, this is a great opener for tomorrow. So I'm going to clip this and remind myself because I think we've all been there, buddy. Yes, I have done this. I'll be honest, these are tough days.
SNTI is going to halt. Sorry.
It's okay. And real quick here, one thing to keep in mind here. Andy from Mighty Soldiers Trades, friend of Benzinga, friend of the program. We ought to have him on here again, by the way. He's awesome. There was one day he said the market was, I can't remember exactly what was going on, but the market was raging. It was green everywhere. Like the heat map was a big green block, right? It was just green arrows everywhere, small stocks, big stocks, the whole 9 yards. And he said that day, he goes, if your stock is not green today, you are in the wrong stock. And I'll never forget that because I actually looked at my portfolio holdings, and sure enough, the better stocks that I had, all of them were up a varying degree, and a couple of the really shit stocks that I had were getting absolutely pounded. And that has never been truer. So, Robert, I understand what you're going through here. I've had plenty of those days myself. We'll get them next time.
And here comes PRZO. That's back over 2, trying to go higher. Trying to recapture my VWAP that I have here. It's actually slightly over it and trying to hold above it. So there's that one. Looks like KULR going sideways. Purple Biotech, that thing is trying to get to 6.
This thing has had a really good move. Parker has been all over this. Parker, yeah. I haven't been trading this, so I probably haven't been highlighting this as much as I should. You know what? You earned yourself the register ring here this morning. Really good stuff. Really good stuff here. Now we're waiting on SNTI. Crow, same deal here with you. Crow saying, I was feeling good about myself at 10. So much for that. Hey, you made bank off that trade. You should always feel good about, even if the stock goes more. And remember me on Archer, right? I'm selling here at 620-ish on Archer. Things going to 10. Look where we are today. Things can always come back in. You can always get another opportunity. Almost always, anyway. PRZO next leg, not in it. Darn.
So sideshow, you're going to get 100 of SNTI just for fun and see what it does out of the halt. I mean, because it looks like it could go up out of the halt.
I was going to say, to me, it sure. I hopefully you're not paying above that there on the halt. What was your crazy price level? Was that 30 or something?
32.30. I'll just leave the show if it goes there. Like, oh God. But great job on PBT. This thing is still trying to, I mean, I think it just tapped 6, didn't it? No, 4 cents away. And looks like we are getting a turnaround in OPTT. That'd be cool. Need to see some recapturing though.
Still waiting for SNTI to open here. When did that halt?
All right.
Halted. Sorry, go ahead.
PRZO. I think it's getting going here.
Yeah, I agree.
It just had another candle start above the VWAP. So if we hold that, it looks like we're going to get into the 2 teens. Purple Biotech, either trying to put in some kind of a flag or a pennant. It looks like at this current formation, as long as it holds above 530, I would say. What did I say? Was it one of those calls that I was having at earlier? I don't know what you're referring to, but it's a funny comment. Huge candle OPTT.
Oh, I can bring that up here.
Oh yeah, that's looking like it really is trying to recover now.
Looks like it's just bouncing off 60 again. This is where we broke out from in the pre-market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ONDS did come back in there under $1. That's not what I was hoping for. Not what I was hoping for. Izzy, we'll see if that firms up anymore here. Really good sell on your part, though. Crimp Biscuits calling SNTI to 30. Buckle up, baby.
Oh, my God. You're telling me that we're actually going to go to 32.30 then? All right. Let's see what the unhalt gives us. That would be crazy.
And so that unhalt, we're actually so it's been 5 minutes. Yeah, so it's open. It's open. Here, I'm going to go to it. SNTI open. Are we going high? Oh, nope. Looks like we dropped a little bit here.
Yeah, and then the buyers will step in.
Think so?
Yep. Trying to step in right now. There they go.
They sure are. Well, you were right about that, 13. Well, you timed that. That was crispy, 13. Crispy timing there. See if we need to go higher here. So who was that was trying to buy this right out of the halt? What kind of fill did you get on that?
I think that was it Crimp that was saying he was going to buy no, Sideshow was going to grab 100 shares.
Okay, this is actually trying now. Watch for this to go higher here now.
Yeah,
it's trying. What does the size look? Yeah, let me.
And there it goes.
There it goes. This is unreal, dude.
And it's going to move up into another halt. It's not starting to halt yet, but if this continues to give this price action, I'm pretty sure we're going to see another halt.
Nick filled at 1140 out of the halt. Now here we are, 13 plus. Really good stuff there.
Yeah, we really need to see like a crazy volumetric rise in the price for it to go into a halt, and it's kind of just not enough right now. Wow, that was great, right to 14. So if we get a pullback, and we're still thinking that it's going to go to 30, the next pullback might be the one to grab into, but I'm going to be cautious. This is crazy.
NBIS, this came all the way back into the pre-market level there on NBIS. Hopefully no one chased that one here.
KULR might be gearing up to move higher.
I see it recrossing the VWAP here on my chart. 13 looks pretty good.
That where'd it go? I just had it on my screen. Where'd it go? SNTI. Looks like that was another opportunity to pick that up because now it's back up above 13. I don't know. I don't know what it does from right here.
You know what? I'd like SNTI to really kind of flush, maybe, or like a hard pull. Like we have, this pull out of the halt here. This what, but I mean, looks like it's just kind of washing out a little bit out of the halt there and then going higher. I'd like to see a pull, like a straight up like pull and then hold at a level. That'd make me feel a lot better about trading this one. Motion saying it's just too, or you're asking, is it just too risky? Yes, this is definitely a risky play. Yes, quite risky. Yes.
Same craziness. Did you short Rocket Lab? Because if you did, holy cow, you killed it. 10% captured today. That's great.
What happened?
Well, he's saying great call on Rocket Lab, and I think he was also mentioning that he was going to short it. I'm not sure if you did or not. That's why I was asking.
Gotcha.
But those space plays, they're coming back in because they were super extended. But that's fine. They needed to cool off and just get ready to trade them again.
Stock profit. Why so bearish? Am I? What am I bearish on? I actually feel quite bullish here today.
It might seem like we're bearish when we want things to come back in, but that's because we want them to go higher. You can't just constantly have stocks go up and up and up. They get super extended, and when the selling comes in, they're going to get absolutely killed. So you want to see that selling happen, sooner than that. So you get a little bit of selling, a little bit of buying, so that when the price does go down, it doesn't absolutely crater. We just want to see some pullback so we can go higher. That's just the way a healthy market works.
No, but Bharat, I don't see any fresh news here on Rocket Lab. Looks like this is just kind of trading here. Now, remember though, you take a look at the daily chart here. This thing has been ramping, so a bit of a pullback here really isn't totally unexpected. SNTI, no, here we go, 15. So it's just a lot of risk in some of these names, right? I've scalped this one time, but really not for a whole lot here. Crow's the one we got to worry about. Crow was pissed when this was popping 12 earlier. Now it's popping 15. So we'll see here on SNTI. And what I really by the way, what I said when I said I wanted a pullback here, I want that because I feel better buying that. If we get like a flush here, we get some of those weak hands that are just smacking the sell. Those are the shares that I want. That'll give me a better price for a bounce.
I like that comment, Scapegoat. Planet Labs being the next space one that goes to like a ridiculous price.
This is wild.
I mean, I could see that happening. And as a matter of fact, of all the ones on my list, with the exception of KULR, Planet Labs is the space stock that's up the most today. So let me take a closer look here at Planet Labs, because I know I covered this one. I know what they do. I think they were still, not profitable. Yeah, they're not. But I think you're right that this could end up being one that runs on some kind of crazy news. The only issue I have is that it's got such a heavy float. But I think you're onto something there. I think Planet Labs could be one of the next space stocks to go. I think you're right. All right. Let's see.
Archer continuing to get pounded here.
Okay.
Elon saying, guys, the Santa rally is here. Elon, Santa hasn't even shown up yet. I'm not sure how the rally, like Christmas isn't here. I know it's Christmas month, but Christmas hasn't even been here. I'm not sure it's Santa rally. We might just have a, let's call it a holiday leftover rally, Thanksgiving. I don't know.
SNTI is going to halt at 1650. I think it might halt here.
Are we trying this again for some more upside?
Not halted yet. It's at 1650. I mean, now it's at 17 almost. It goes from like it's moving up in like 25 and 50 cent increments.
If it holds here, it's gonna halt. That's just funny. 13. It's like,
oh, it could go here. Oh, it's there. Maybe I should just hold my tongue for another second or two so it can just do its thing without me talking about it.
I'm not in this, by the way. I am not in this here. I mean, this is some wild stuff. Glad we're having some fun here. Smash up the likes for our group, finding us movers every single day.
Yeah, I like it, Fairchild. This is the turkey sandwich rally.
Turkey sandwich rally. I can get on board with that. Make it stop. I'm gonna Jay Walker, dude. if you get another flush here, you might be able. Okay. So first of all, you might be able to reload this. But Jaywalker, what you're talking about right here, what you're experiencing, is exactly why we talk about scaling out of positions, especially on some of these momentum names. Even if you have less than your original position, you're still having exposure, and the stock is ripping. Can be pretty good. Here's our first machinations of a pullback.
Oh, geez. I was just going to try to mention that Purple Biotech, it looks like it was about to go and it just went.
Oh, 13 said he'd walk off the show if it hit 32. Got it. Okay, so we're halfway there.
We're living on a prayer.
Okay.
Definitely
don't want you to walk off. Here we go, though. SNTI.
Purple.
So look at that pull. Here, we'll go to PBBT. Oh, my God. This is going to halt?
It's halted.
It is halted.
All right, so time to find some dumb levels for this one. Let's see, 926. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with 926. So 925 to 930, I think, is where we might see Purple Biotech run to out of this halt, possibly. It could certainly go up there with how stupid these things are moving today. Great job, Line Atlas. UMAC halted up? Oh, geez.
UMAC is also halted to the upside. Yes, it is. Oh, my God. This was a nice bounce here. 2 off 20. $3 bounce. Wow. Right. You guys, really good stuff there. And Tom mentioning Oscar. This was a recent pick from Tim Melvin here. This has been up since he mentioned it. One thing here, and this actually has been pretty good. I set a reminder to check back in on the price. We had really good interaction when we had Tim on that day, and there were several folks in here that actually took the other side of Oscar. So we're going to revisit that. We'll see how that pick did several months down the road here. Oscar, another good day. That's up 6.5% here today.
We could see, because of UMAC being halted, we might see some reversals happening in the other drone plays. So TradeZero, OPTT, UAVS, and help me out, folks. What's the other one? Just keep an eye on.
I mean, ONDS is a drone play. I'm not sure which one you're mentioning here.
No, I was saying keep an eye on all of them.
All of them,
because UMAC is halted to the upside. So I'm just looking for a relationship as well.
How's the big one in this? AV is really not doing well. Okay, so these seem to be limited to the smaller names here in this theme anyway. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it looks like SNTI is going to keep me in my seat for now.
Yep, sure is. But here we go. So, here's the thing. So SNTI is pulling. So, who feels good about maybe buying one of these levels here? I don't think this is a great level. I think that this should probably come in a little bit more. And if you do buy any of these pullbacks, I'd really keep your stop tight so you don't get absolutely obliterated if the thing continues to move against you.
Getting asked if SNTI will go back up to its IPO. Well, a couple of things. Like, I don't know about enough about this to know if it's going to do that. I mean, if it's going to go back.
What did it IPO at?
Yeah, I don't know where it IPO'd at. I look at up here at around $100, and there's just like a lot of sideways action. So I'm kind of wondering, was this a SPAC that reverse split, or I'd have to look more into this. I can't answer that right now with the information I have available to me at the moment. I'd have to look more into it. So sorry about that.
Lion Atlas saying that Santa is knocking at his door early. Always a good sign there, Lion. KULR. Should I get ho 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 on the board? Maybe I will.
Getting a mention from Smoke Tuna at KULR. This one is trying to break the intraday high. Let's see if we get that. It's also had a couple of
1 sec 13.
No problem. A couple of times earlier in the pre-market where it got up to the 195 area and was rejected twice. That's going to be the area I'd be interested in to see it go, if it can make it back up there. And if it does get back up there, I'd be looking for a breakout. Okay, so we're still waiting on Purple Biotech to unhalt. TradeZero looks like it's trying to turn around. Looks like Archer might be also finding a bottom here. The IPO price was 99.40 in SNTI. Okay, so it didn't reverse split then. That's a long hold there, Fairchild. I'm really glad it worked out for you. Ripple, UMAC unhalted, also getting mentioned with Boozy. So UMAC, see what that's doing now. That pulled out of the halt. So very unfortunate there. SNTI still kind of deciding if it wants to go lower or higher. KULR trying to push over 170 where I see a bit of size there. They just took that out. Here we go. Looks like KULR might be getting going here.
All right.
So we're just waiting to see what KULR does. Looks like it's trying to go back up to.
You guys are going to make me trade this, I think.
Some of the highs. It's over $1, so it's not a penny stock anymore. We're still waiting for SNTI. I mean, this thing is put in a red candle. Now it's going green. This may be the next move that takes it over 17.
So this is kind of what I was saying. I would have liked for a little bit more of a pullback. So I'm still out of this on SNTI, but at least you did get a little bit of a pull there.
Yeah.
Amanda, good morning, Amanda. Hopefully the rest of your Thanksgiving holiday was good. You get a ho, ho, ho. I need a Festivus miracle. We'll see what we can do.
This happened so fast. Only the chat really picked up on it. It Purple Biotech unhalted, gapped up, made a huge green candle, and then halted again, and it broke out of the pre-market high. This must have all happened within a matter of like a couple of seconds.
Okay, have to have it ready here. Elon mentioning Ryan, Santa Rally starts before always and sell off a bit around Christmas, just like sell the news kind of event, if you know what I mean. Pretty sure that the Santa Rally is between Christmas and New Year's. That's all I was going at. I don't think we can count a run up the Santa Rally prior to Christmas.
We should get a good Santa Rally with the way
I'm thinking so too this year.
Yeah, the retail numbers have been really strong, so I think we are going to get that rally. Unless something else comes along that upends that. But that was
Apple
really
239.90 your high here. Apple just continuing to get it done.
Really? That's what they're at now? Jeez. So wait, have we broken out yet?
Continuing to get it done. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We broke out.
Yes.
Okay. Well, holy hell. I'm glad I looked at this now because now I have to reevaluate where it's going next. Because that was the next move, was that breakout over this ascending wedge.
Yep. And we got it. Just don't have any follow through gusto with it yet either.
No, it's very slow moving, to be honest.
That's kind of what I was saying. Amazon. Apple really seems to be the safety trade of those really popular tech stocks that we talk about. Here's Amazon, by the way. Izzy, you've been all over this all morning here. We did have some news earlier here. Go back and read you some of that news here real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Are you kidding me? Where is this in here? I can't find it in my note sheet. Here we go. Black Friday shopping as online sales reach new heights. Obviously, today's Cyber Monday. I haven't seen if there's any really good Cyber Monday deals yet. Let me know, chat, what your best deals are. But
Crow and Smoke Tuna mentioning FOSL. This is Fossil Group, and it is having a pretty good morning. It's up almost up 2x. 250 now is the high. It looked like it opened around 150. So as soon as we get to 3, it'll be a 2x.
Motion, I completely agree with you. Best trading channel, hands down. Be sure to smash up that like. Help promote. If you guys made big trades, tweet me so that I can retweet you. Let's help raise the tide for everybody in here. Smashing that like and subscribing helps the algorithm as well. Really good stuff here from the group. Absolutely love to hear this.
Okay, so let me take a look at something because this has been something I've been mentioning. Okay, curiously, UPS is down on those Cyber Monday. The strength of the sales of Cyber Monday. usually, because the thought is here is if the online sales are going to be really, really good this year, then I don't expect all the like Amazon to be able to handle that entire workload. I think they're going to be sending a lot of it off to USPS, FedEx, and UPS. So that's kind of where I'm at with these couriers. I'm looking for a breakout and hold above the 200-day SMA on UPS. I'd also want to see it hold above 140. So still needs to happen.
Sorry, I was reading the news there on ZETA, but here let's bring up that UPS longer term chart here for you. Really want to see this recapture that 200, I think, but we're doing a good job holding the 50 so far.
Ever since it went beneath the 200, that's been the big moving average that has been suppressing the price. And the dividend yield down here is really good. This is going to be a long-term hold for me. But I've been buying down here under 130 and in the 130s.
Ken, dude, I will shout this from the mountaintops, boss. I left the group I was paying for because this YouTube channel, which is free, is 1,000x better. Bro, you are making Chewbacca happy on a Monday. That is always a good thing. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I was actually trying to work out a vacation with one of my coworkers, and I was like, the number one key for this is that the show must go on. So even if I travel, I have to be at an area where I can run the show in the morning. And we'll talk about vacation some other day.
Is Symbiotic Incorporated, SYM?
SYM, yeah. What's going on?
So it had a good pop this morning, put in some upper shadows, and then came back in, found support around a 65 EMA, and now it just made its way back through VWAP. I'm looking for this thing to kind of take out that intraday high. Volume's not great, so I don't know if we'll get that, but I thought it would be worth mentioning since it's kind of putting in a decent looking formation here.
So what's going on here? We actually got a number of questions here on whether or not this would recover here if we maybe trade back to this 37 level that it broke down from, currently at 28 bucks here. I agree with you. The one thing, 13, the one thing that I've noticed here is that after this move down, the volume has consecutively gotten smaller. So let's see where we finish here today. Maybe this bounce move here is done. I believe the news here was accounting stuff, right? This is that here we go. Delays the filing of its annual report on the Form 10K. So we just kind of stayed away from that because of that. Looks like Northland lowered the price target here to 35, by the way. Sorry, which one was the SNTI?
SNTI. I think it's about to go. It looks like it's trying to get going there. Trying to break out of this this bull flag that it put in. Yeah, it's really starting to get going here. Trying to take out 15. Anyway, we'll see if that one gets going there, because it looks like it wants to turn around and go higher and take out 15, and then subsequently the 17 handle that it almost got to on that last pop.
Okay.
So something to watch for there. Looks like KULR is also trying to go higher here, but I think this one needs more volume as well. A lot of these have some good setups. They just need the volume to match. Just needs the volume to match.
Okay.
All right. What else are we looking at, folks?
I'm going to zoom in here real quick. So the level to worry about here, 1365, you think on SNTI? Let me know what you think about that. Okay. What downside level are you worried about this not bouncing?
If we lose, like, I would say if we lose, let's say 1285, that might be a big concern there. 1285 is level for me.
Still waiting on PPBT to open here. Remember, that was another one that moved to the upside halt area. Take a look at SNTI.
Just kind of looking around.
Vision. I didn't know this. I appreciate this. Ticker SYM Sim was being pushed by Meet Kevin over the weekend. So his people are probably pumping it earlier. Interesting. I did not know that. Appreciate that. See, this is the type of stuff. Just little tidbits of information like that. Extremely helpful. Shout out to you, Vision.
And looking at some of these other names, like the drone names. They're still waiting to see what they end up doing. Looks like UAVS is trying to push up higher, but again, with all these drone names right now, the volume isn't where they need to be. So I don't know how much, if we're going to get these breakouts that they're setting up for.
Okay. UAVS, tell you what, this intraday formation does look like this is trying to go higher.
Speaking of going higher, KULR new intraday high.
Lion here is so happy with the group that he put every smiley face he could find in his message. You just love to see that. Just big energy here this morning. Love it.
Oh wow, Fossil Group that you guys were mentioning, that went as high as 261, and now it came back into support, get support from VWAP.
Yeah,
don't know if this is done yet.
Right into VWAP though.
Oh. Okay, just trying to find what's getting ready to go next. Still think SYM might be looking for that intraday high.
And SNTI off that pull didn't break down. I'd watch this area here on SNTI. If this 1375 area breaks, then maybe this will need some more time to set up, but it's trying here. Maybe we get another move back towards that impulse high there.
I didn't see any news directly, Big V's regarding Rocket Lab, but this thing is absolutely extended and it needed to come back in. Also, there was a lot of insider selling last week too. Even they know that this is really, really overvalued. So this thing needs to come back in. But I have a lot of confidence in this company. It can come back in all it wants. This thing is a great company and it makes a lot of money.
PPBT registering for anyone that was trading this. This looks like this might be going here again as well. PPBT.
It's gonna. I mean, it could halt again.
Whew.
Well, this one's about to hit that level I mentioned. I think it was like, what, 925 or something like that, 926. This one's almost there.
This is going to halt right here if this holds here. Yes, 902, yeah. Bang. Wow. Well, our group's on all of them. SMCI back to the pre-market highs here as well. How's KULR doing? That was another one we had on our list. That moved higher than the VWAP as well.
Yep, a new intraday high in that. Still waiting for some of these other drone names to get going. UAVS looks like it wants to be one of them.
RX might have an intraday high breakout here. RX.
All right. Let's take a look at the chart here on RX. Oh, geez. Extended much? All right. PRZO. This has got a decent candle here. Looks like it's trying to get back up to VWAP.
Yep, right at VWAP right now.
Okay, there might be some more upside here in PRZO. Just need to make sure we get that volume to match the movement. Could also see some more in
SNTI well. Cracked here, folks. Be careful here with SNTI. This was the level that we were watching here. It did end up break. This is coming back in, folks. I would be really, really careful here on SNTI.
This is the level it needs to hold for me. This one right here.
Okay.
At the 1290, 1285, I believe I said it was. So if we get a reversal here, that's good. But look at the MACD. The MACD may be indicating that this is trying to roll over here. Haven't got a crossing yet, but it's starting to look that way. But it can be nullified if the price reverses and go back up. So.
And that area, so that area, yeah, I have this pretty much right in here. This area where it consolidated and launched from. If this breaks down, we're done here, SNTI, at least for now.
And then PRZO is trying to get back. I mean, it hasn't gone over my VWAP yet, but it looks like it's trying to get over VWAP.
Let me load that up here real quick. PRZO. Right at that VWAP. We'll see if it can get through this here on PRZO.
Let's see. Let's see what the folks are saying here. PRZO trying. Yeah, it is. How did you find levels for Purple Biotech? So I have those EMAs that I use, and I mentioned before they work really well across all time frames.
Yeah, so and I've actually been using those here to try and help that 13. So if you need me to turn any of those on to demonstrate this, we can do that.
Okay, so if you let's see, I'm gonna go to if you have the 200 EMA on and you go to purple Biotech.
Yep,
And
PPBT. Yep.
Go to the daily. Ta-da. There it is.
Here you go.
So I got that level.
By the way, 13 SNTI holding that area that you just talked about. At least so far, it's holding that area.
Now that level, I didn't use an EMA for. That was a price action level. Let me bring up my chart and I'll explain it a little bit further.
Honestly, this needs to get back over 14 for it to start getting the juice that we want it to have.
So on a 5-minute chart, when I was looking at SNTI and we were talking about where this would come down into, it looked like from the 10.05 and the 10.10 candles, that looked like it was having a tough time getting above 12.85. So a lot of times what can happen is that when a resistance area gets broken through, it can become support. So that's what I was looking at with SNTI, was that breakout area of 1285, 1290. That was resistance becoming support, and that's what we're getting now. Now, also coincidentally, the 9 EMA is also in that area too. So I wasn't necessarily looking at that the EMA for support. I was looking at the price action, but having both those in the same area is very helpful. Now, we did get a bounce here. I don't know if it's going to hold. Again, I've been mentioning time and time again, the volume needs to match this price action. And if we fall through, it's because the volume of sellers was bigger than the buyers.
Okay, really good stuff there. Fairchild, I had no idea, man. Can't get a register ring to save my life. Here's 1, 2, 3, and guess what? Chewbacca's going to send you home too. I missed what this was for. I'm sorry about that. Let me know what I was giving those register rings out. It was not personal. I apologize. Amanda, you're good. You will not have to go over there and ring his register in person. You take that any way that you will.
Let me get some levels for SMCI. I know I've mentioned a lot of times that I didn't like the consolidation on SMCI between 40 and 50. So I think somewhere in there you're going to have resistance. Where are we even at with that one right now?
SMCI, let me bring that up. We got a lot of requests here. SMCI, Tesla. Here's your SMCI.
Okay, so it hasn't really. It's trying to enter that consolidation channel that I just mentioned.
Dude, this might break right here.
Yes, like I was saying earlier, it was. When we were getting that bull flag, I was saying it was setting up nicely to go higher. This is what I was talking about. It should go and it should break the 500-day SMA. But like I said, between 50 and 40, there's consolidation there, and I think we're going to run into resistance within that channel. So that's what I'm looking for with the SMCI right now.
Tencent saying here, this looks like a bull trap. Be careful on that one. We kind of talked about that too. I think you said that you didn't like the news on this earlier, right?
No, I don't like. I understand that it's it's a real company and it's got everything. It's got a lot of things going for it. But this financial non-filing is really bad, and I don't think it matters how good the company is. You can't do that. You've got some serious problems. So they need to really fix that, in my opinion.
Okay. By the way, SNTI, it's doing the thing. Now, here's the thing. We're right at 14, but honestly, folks, I really think this needs to punch above 14. There we go. I'm looking at the level 2 here. I don't see a lot of size. This is just kind of volatile. Let's see if this thing can move above 14. I think if it does and holds even a little bit above 14, we probably take that run back towards 15? Probably just $1 increments here on SNTI. Nice bounce. This was the 9? Yeah, this was the 9 EMA on the 5-minute here. I know that you said that it would seem serendipitous that it kind of ran up into that other level that you were looking at, but it sure looks like it bounced from there.
Yeah, extra help is always good.
Yeah.
No problem, Dom. And then Glenn D saying that SMCI weekly suggests 42.10. Makes perfect sense to me. That's right in that same range that I was talking about. SYM getting smacked. So this did not get resolved to the highs of the day. So big pull there on SYM.
Okay. And we're still waiting on PPBT to unhalt, right? Yes. Okay.
PRZO trying to get up above 2.
Okay.
Lots of selling sell orders after 2. I mean, this thing, I don't know how high this is going to go unless we get some volume expansion, because there are a ton of orders in the way from going higher.
Okay. SNTI, folks, I think we're going back to 15 here on SNTI. Got to be honest with you.
certainly looking good. Just need that again, volume at this point. That's all it needs.
Yeah.
Good call on NVIDIA. What was the call I made on NVIDIA? Sorry, I'm saying so much.
I know it's hard. Honestly, though, it's hard. It's hard to remember all that stuff. We're focusing on so many stocks here. I can go to it.
I appreciate the mention. It didn't exactly do what I was looking for it to do, which was test that 20-day SMA. But I still maintain that looks like a bear flag, and that we're ultimately going to go lower. It just is a matter of time when. But I would like to see it get rejected by the 20-day SMA. Okay, UAVS falling out of bed. That means these other drone names might also do the same. Where's UMAC at right now?
EHGO pop, says Tuna. That was interesting. That's been bleeding the entire day. Here, we finally got a pop. This is on low volume here. Did pop back up to that 65 EMA on the 5-minute. EHGO, first signs of life from that stock here today.
So UMAC, UMAC has been sideways all morning. Looks like OPTT's, not going the way of the drone plays quite yet. This might try to recapture VWAP. But UAVS, that's not looking great. All these other space names, like Lunar, that looks like it's gonna, it might break down beneath 15 today. Still getting that upside movement in SNTI, but we just need that volume. It's all it needs.
SNTI, it's trying here. Wonder if it's actually going to just blast from here or not.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah, it's flirting with 14 at the moment.
And Purple Biotech still
halted. Yeah.
I see a lot of sell orders piling up, so careful with that one.
IFBD, this is one that we took a look at last week here. Looks like that popped into the upside. PPBT is open here.
Yes, it is. And going higher. Here we are. So went up to 987. That's the current high. Over 10 now.
Really good stuff there on PPBT.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, whoever was in this one from earlier, they said that you were loving this. Really good. This is going to halt here again, isn't it?
It could very well halt here again, and we've already 2x in this one today. So well done on that. Well done on that. SNTI still hasn't done the move back up to 17 towards 17 yet, but it's not breaking down yet either. And Ocean Power Tech still trying to get through its VWAP. And it looks like we're about to halt in Purple Biotech.
Halt to the upside here. 1087 if it holds here. I don't have it halted. No, that was the resumption.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. Halted.
All right. So how many halts is that now?
That is going to be your 4th halt of the day. PPBT, all of them to the upside.
All right. The next upside target for this, if it gets there, would be 1375. And I'd say if. I don't know if it will, but if it does, that's where I would expect the next resistance, 1375. Looks like PRZO hit VWAP and then went back down to the 65 EMA. Currently getting support. Not sure how long that's going to hold.
BTT here. Geo, RX. Boy, God, this is another good morning. So folks, smash up the like for having awesome Mondays. What job do you have where you say that your Mondays are awesome?
Just football players.
Yeah, I guess unless they lost on Sunday.
That's right. But they play on Monday sometimes. That's all. That's what I was. Line Atlas mentioned Bitcoin taking 97K. So we're back up there. So how are these Bitcoin names doing? Also, OPTT, MACD is curling to the upside. This one might have some better movement coming up.
Bitcoin. So we talked about that. Bitcoin futures here, 98,400. That moved off the lows here of the day at 96,000. That's again /BTC Bitcoin futures chart.
All right. So A lot of these.
Look at SNTI. Might not be done as this moves back above 14. Unreal. SNTI.
And the Bitcoin names, MSTR, Mara, Riot, CleanSpark, they are looking like they're trying to continue with their recovery here. And it's all dependent upon how Bitcoin trades. Look at CLSK. This thing looks like it's going to have a breakout over 1535.
CLSK, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does look like that's about to break right here.
And yep, I was just going to say SNTI looking pretty good.
SNTI going here.
And Purple Biotech still halted. UABS losing 10. PRZO rebounding off 65 EMA. Falso, MACD's is curling to the downside. This one might be done.
Sorry, which one? I was laughing at our hilarious chat. That's awesome.
Fossil, FOSL.
FOSL, got it. Speaking of Fossil, I was inundated. My algorithm on Amazon knows how much I like watches and was literally blasting me with every single watch sale it could. I almost bought several of them. And I was like, Ryan, you don't need these.
Thank you for the reminder, Dr. Manred. CleanSpark has earnings after the close.
Okie dokie.
And are any of those other Bitcoin names having earnings anytime soon? Let's see here. Looks like Mara reports in February.
Yeah, I don't think any of these have them soon.
Okay. All right. We won't bother with that then.
Apple calls on the flow here. These are all kind of smaller here. These look like just call flow. It's pretty good there for Apple. Boy, another good morning here. Again,
I'll say. All right. So did we miss that price action with Purple? Did it unhalt and then go into a halt again?
No, this is the fourth halt. We covered it. You asked me how many times it was halted. I said 4.
Yeah, sorry. I thought that was still when it halted the last time. I'm getting losing track of these halts with this thing.
I'll tell you what. We got a question here earlier. We ought to address this here. Daniel's asking, damn, how do you trade these halts from the open without getting burned? So, Daniel, full disclosure, I don't. If I'm trading any of these halted names, I'm normally trying to trade the momentum. You'll often see me buy, sell it, and then the stock will go $1 or even $2 higher in some cases, because I'm with you. Generally speaking, I want to stay away from stocks that are a halt fest. It's hard.
And there goes OPTT, and I'm out.
Okay. 13. You get your register ring here.
Wow, this thing's going right back up to the pre-market. Carmen, that was all because of you. Thank you for that if you're still out there.
Boom. Shout out Carmen. Let's give Carmen a register ring too. Group's getting it done today.
Right back up to there. Jesus. And right back up to there.
And real quick here, Daniel, just to kind of finish off with this question, Tenzin's right. Definitely use limit prices for this one. These are kind of all over the place. Look, if this is too risky, fine. There's plenty of other movers here that weren't halt fest. So yeah, I mean, I would. And also, the one thing that I would recommend: lower your size. If you're normally buying 1,000 shares, buy 200 shares or 100 even to start, and then scale it.
And the more you trade these, and the more you watch these halts, and you understand, how they're working, and sometimes that first or second halt might not be it, but when you get to the third, fourth, or fifth halts, that's usually where you be a little more careful. You just trade this market, and you'll get a better sense of when to jump into those and when not to.
SMCI call flow, by the way, this is right up here near the highs in J Wild. I use penicillin during halts. Best group to trade with here, this one.
Yeah, this is
without question. Intel, by the way, remember we had news here that CEO Pat Gelsinger is resigning here. That caused the impulse move up to 25.5. It's pared back some of its gains here, but looks like it might be moving back towards the highs here. INTC, ticker Intel. SNTI pulling back from that 15 spot. So what did I say? If we recaptured 14, we were likely going to 15. Well, guess what? That looks like where it stopped here. SNTI, no position for me here today. We'll see what happens when this comes into some of the support levels. Again, this was another stock that was halted a number of times here today.
Fun stuff, folks.
Yeah. We had no news here, Wes. No news on ticker OPTT. Looks like some pre-earnings action here. 14 days. That comes on Monday, December 16th, after the market closes.
Yeah, with OPTT, one of those drone plays. So it's part of an overall theme, just kind of moving on its own. So if we see some weakness in one of these other drone plays, I look to the other ones like OPTT. They tend to get that attention when one of the other ones is not doing as well. It's part of, I think that's what we're seeing here. It's just this overall theme of the drone plays.
It also reminds me, I can't help it, but this stock reminds me of the old Naughty by Nature song, Down with OPP.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. See, you know it too. I'm telling you, Naughty by Nature, man. Hip hop hooray. We're going to start singing it here pretty soon. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to sing. I don't want to scare you guys away.
Great mention on SoundHound. That thing is
really?
Actually, yeah, that thing had it sold this morning, and then it turned around down around 890. Ooh. And we're trying to come back up here to the high of Friday, which was 953. We are 13 cents away. Yes, underwater drones. Yep. Dude, doesn't matter if they're in the air or underwater. The drones are going to be a military. They're going to be big in the military going forward.
The company that we interviewed here today, appreciate the entire group here, by the way. That was really kind of a fascinating interview. Really awesome idea for clean energy generation here using the natural wave current here. That was ticker wave. This is actually up 8% here. And I know someone was asking about that interview earlier. It sounds like our producers are going to be able to separate that and then generate this. You'll be able to rewatch that interview at some point. Really good stuff there from the group, though. Love that you guys had questions for her too. Big shout out to Amy for joining us. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. SNTI not looking too great here. MACD indicating that we could roll over potentially here pretty soon. But we didn't get back up to the 17 area quite yet. But we're not done yet. Just it just looks that way for the moment. We might get a big old set of buyers to step in with a bunch of volume that takes it back up. But for the moment, it looks like we could be losing that 9 EMA and coming back down to test the 1285 that we were testing earlier.
Crimp Biscuit here. I end up having to YouTube old school tunes after morning Benzinga. Is that because of us? Is that because we're showing our age and bringing you back to the old school? Look up Naughty by Nature. You might enjoy that.
Jaboni's Pizzeria asks if I trade after 11 a.m. And
let's go. That's actually a handle. Let's go.
Jaboni's Pizza. If I have a YouTube channel, I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm only on here at Benzinga, but I am in the Benzinga Pro Happy Hour chat all day.
Oh, and you know what, 13? I'm glad that you mentioned that. So first of all, here's what 13 is talking about. We'll take some time here. Got 8 minutes left in the show, but we're going to take some time here to pay the bills, as they say.
Purple is open, by the way, too, and higher.
Oh, okay, I'll put this on screen here so we can actually watch that. Lev halted here. Oh my God, PBBT. This is continuing to go. This is going to halt again.
Yeah, it could halt again. I think it will. It blasted through that EMA on the daily. So let's see here. I think I had another one mentioned here on the weekly. That was 1385. Isn't that what I said earlier? Something about that. It's halted now, but we went almost right up to that 1385 level, 1380, 1385. So we're almost there.
Okay, real quick, just to finish this off, for heaven's sakes. So one of the things you'll hear 13 and I talk about it a lot. We actually have a late day Zoom call called Happy Hour, which is a meeting where everyone talks about what happened, what they saw, trading ideas, the whole 9 yards. But there's also a chat room in Pro. First of all, in Pro, there's a bunch of chat rooms, but one of the chat rooms is actually tied to the Happy Hour program, and 13 is a moderator in there. So his chats are automatically highlighted in purple. That's where you can find him. You asked if he has a YouTube channel. He's part of the Benzinga family, so you can find him right here. And by the way, if you're not a part of Pro, I'm not sure how you're getting by, but good on you. However, with it being Black Friday and Cyber Monday, if you're looking for our best sale, I'll go ahead and throw a checkout there in the chat. That is for Pro. Black Friday is always going to be our best sale. And if you wanted to just get started with Edge because you're not as active as us, we have a Black Friday sale for that too. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you take your pick. We are here for you.
Is he asking KULR any entry yet? Well, it's coming down to potential entry spot, but I think this thing is pretty. It's overvalued right now, but I don't think that matters. But it is overvalued. I just would be a little bit more cautious at this point. We're getting into the later moments of the morning. Volume is going to be drying up. I don't know if I'd want to take an entry at this particular point, but like I said earlier, at 145 to 135, 140 area, I think I mentioned earlier, is where I'd be wanting to see support. Otherwise, we're going to have a break in the trend, and that could mean more downside. So I'd just be exercising caution up here at this point. Maybe KULR has a better time later on after the lunch hour, but I don't think I'd want to be picking this up going into the lunch hour, if that makes sense.
Okay. Good stuff there. Good breakdown. ONDS getting mentioned here by Smoke Tuna. Love to see that here. This is trading back up, so maybe we finish a little bit higher here. I had said earlier, one of the things I really want to see out of this stock for the long-term move that I'm hoping for is a hold above the $1 area. Looks like we've done that fairly well so far.
Yeah, so SNTI still not quite finished yet, but and maybe we just consolidate and then go higher, but I don't know.
Lev, this was the penny stock. This also halted here.
Lion Electric?
Is this Lion Atlas's company?
No.
Lion Electric? No, right?
No, I remember this company back from like 2001. They came to the market. This is one of the markets that came. I'm sorry, one of the companies that came to the market via SPAC.
I'll tell you what, really quickly, Izzy, if ONDS just goes right from here and literally never looks back, I will bow down and call you master for the ONDS trade, because going from 99 cents, scalping it and selling it nearly at the high here in the pre-market and then reloading it only to have it go higher from there, that would be mightily impressive. Really good stuff here so far. Hope that goes for you. Charlie's talking about Lulu having a nice day. Appreciate that. I don't have the squawk on here, so I'll take this all day. We actually talked about this one too, right? We talked about this being maybe one of the next retail names to go. Also worth noting, we're above that 330.49. This is an area that we had flagged here. We are above that. Big B's, appreciate you on this. Straight up today, indeed. 4.8% here today. Good stuff.
Yeah, replay game. I'm saying he's in 2/3 cash right now. I think we're getting toppy. I don't disagree with that at all.
I've felt like that for a long time. I'm totally with you guys.
SNTI still choppy, but it looks like it really wants to get back above 14.20. And if it does, it might be the start of the next, or a potentially next move up. Looking around, see we got some of that a breakout a little bit in some of those Bitcoin names as the price of Bitcoin was moving up, but they came back in. Maybe it's just consolidating for the next move up. I don't know. Still waiting for Purple Biotech to unhalt.
I can't believe this thing is in a 13 handle. That is insane. Insane.
And, yeah, that's let's see, that's a 3x now. Looking for a 4x. All right, it's unhalted and lower.
Okay, and this actually would halt again here if it holds this.
Yeah, it's going to halt to the downside. And wait for it.
Halted. There it is, halted. Okay. So halted to the downside there. Boy, see, so Daniel, I think you were asking about how you trade these halt names. This is a perfect example. This is impossible. This was nothing but up, 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 halt, hardly open, and then all of a sudden something changed, and now we're halting to the downside. Down, 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 halt to the, I mean, just this is why I don't like trading these. It's tough. It's tough.
Well done, Sideshow.
And this is exactly, sorry, this is exactly what you don't want to do. Do not panic. That can make trading some of these volatile or halt names, you just compound your problem.
Yeah.
That's also why reducing size, probably the thing that I would recommend the most, even more so than stop levels. Adjusting your size so that when you have some of this crazy volatility, you're not induced into making panic moves. That's what we want to avoid.
Yeah.
Yes. Tom, great question. I'm not near a computer during happy hour, but I do have my phone. Is there a way to get in the Zoom every day on the phone? Yes. You can join the Zoom from any device that you'd want. 13, by the way, has actually joined from his phone and then participated and then switched to a computer mid-show. So yes, you can absolutely do that. You don't have to have a camera or a mic on. You can literally just, if you're driving around, that might be something to do, right? Put it in your holder there and listen to it. Yes, you get access to happy hour if you have any level of Benzinga Pro. Any level of Benzinga Pro. X-Sniper rode PPBT from 7 to 10.
Awesome.
Register ring for you. And then another register ring for anyone else that I might have forgotten about, because I'm not trying to miss you. Looking at you, Fairchild. Not trying to miss anybody here. I know someone else mentioned this one earlier. So good stuff to all of you folks.
Yeah, I think the big thing that we're just waiting to see happen is whether or not S&TI is going to hang out up here or not.
All right.
Looks like OPTT's trying to turn around. I don't know if that's going to happen either.
It's 10 o'clock though. I mean, this was so good. We went so fast here today. We are going to be back here again tomorrow. 13, any closing words for the group here?
Hey, folks, you had a wonderful day. Let's have another good day tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Until then, don't make any other trades. It's going to help. That's going to assist in losing everything you made today. Let's call it good.
All right. Awesome stuff, 13. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Happy Monday. We will see you tomorrow. Take care.